What music they make. Creatures of the night. Ooh, how I love it. Welcome, everyone, to episode 301 of the Fake Nerd Podcast. I'm Ryan. I'm joined by my favorite spooky boys in the world, talking about some spooky movies, shorts, comic books, just tons of spooky shit. It's my episode, baby. We're in black and white. I got Sparks with me.
I was really ready for a rendition of Werewolves of London.
Oh.
With that opening, awoo.
No, that's a Ben. That's a Ben joint. Speaking of Ben, hi Ben.
I mean, don't look outside now, but I think there's a bad moon rising.
It's bad. It's full, and it's ready for some good. Speaking of good, hi Brandon. But spooky, I guess.
Yep. I couldn't think of anything clever in my thing, so I was like, but spooky, I guess.
Hey, it's something. It's something. It's something. Guys, we're here. Marvel's did it again. They released another thing. It's been like 6 days, so they released something new. We're gonna talk about it. But before we talk about it, it's spooky time, and I'm just very excited. Brandon, you got any spooky links?
I have links. Unfortunately, they're not spooky though.
Well, I mean, it's in the vicinity of spooks. I'll allow it.
You know what? We'll work on it. We'll get some spooky links out to the audience later this week, month, not the week.
Yeah.
Ben, very noisily over on his screen, has a link in the description for his latest old school gamer magazine article. You will have to unmute yourself because you need to talk about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much just me writing about my experience at the Final Fantasy concert I went to a few weeks ago. Not super spooky, but I mean, I guess One Winged Angel could be spooky because the second you hear that, you know if it's final boss time, and it's like, oh shit, and everyone gets scared. So I guess there's that. But other than that, I talked about it a few weeks ago. Amazing show. So if you want to read about it, it's there.
Linked below. And the only thing for us this week, She-Hulk, episodes 5 through 8. We did a Fake Nerds watch on those 4 episodes of She-Hulk. That went up this week. Check it out. We talk about everything that happened, all the orgasmic details.
Leapfrog.
Of the latest episodes of She-Hulk. Just in time for the penultimate episode.
Nope.
Just in time for the ultimate episode.
Yep.
Technically, we were in time to record and discuss the penultimate episode.
Yes.
So that's below. Check it out. We had a good time. That's it. That's all the links. Who wants to go first with their week?
Ben does.
I will.
Sparks does.
I have nothing really relevant to say.
Yep.
So,
well, that's not true. We watched the movie together. You
You
liar.
We watched Hellraiser.
Oh, yeah.
And Trick or Treat.
Did you like Hellraiser?
I watched these things. Yeah,
cool.
I do.
Cool.
I like Hellraiser.
Okay.
I hadn't seen it in a long time.
Beautiful.
I think it's cool. I forgot how much it's not about the Cenobites.
No.
Which is weird. I forgot that. I think I was mixing a lot of Hellraiser 2 in my memory into Hellraiser 1.
Yeah. Hellraiser 2 definitely dives into the lore and more of that stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, still been moving and everything. I wasn't here for the news of the last week's episode, which is fair because, as Ben pointed out, I'm not an original fake nerd. So it was fine that I wasn't present. And that's
what happened. What happened?
He said that.
No,
when you guys were recording.
He not in a bad way. He's like, but look, it's like the original people or whatever. Yeah.
Look, when I stop recording, the episode is expunged from my memory.
Yeah. That's fair. That's very fair. I'll go next because it's a little bit more, but it's not as much. I got to rewatch Hellraiser. I love that movie. I watched it with them. Really,
great effects.
God, those effects hold up so well.
Mm-hmm.
So gooey. I love it. Really excited for that new one. Now that I revisit it. Trick or Treat, still a great movie. Probably my favorite horror anthology, honestly. Like, I think that movie's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing I did this week, I all the shows we're reviewing, I watched them. You know what they are. The main thing I did this week was try to play Overwatch 2 because Overwatch launched this week.
Keyword there being try.
Yes, unfortunately, they got attacked. They had a DDoS attack, which is a type of cyber attack where they fill your servers with millions of fake bots. So the servers were overloaded with not real people. So myself, and along with hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of other people, couldn't log in for many days. In queues of like 40,000 people, and you would wait until it hit 0, and then you'd go log an error, put you back into the 40,000. So it's not like I was just watching the screen. I was on my phone. I was doing other stuff. But I want to see how long it would take me to get into a game. Hours, straight up hours. It's worse for some people, better for some other people. Not all of it is Blizzard's fault. Getting a cyber attack like this is like you can't expect it. You don't know how to fight it until it happens. Like cybersecurity is really tough. So I give them a little bit of a leeway because like this shit's rough. That being said, man, Overwatch 2 is a good game. It is a good game. I remember when us three, Brandon, you played a tiny bit of Overwatch a couple years ago. I think that's one of the best first-person shooters ever made in terms of being a team game. When that game was good, it was so good, and then it kept getting updated years and years. And the quote-unquote meta of the game, people didn't like where Overwatch was at. And then Overwatch 2 comes out. Every single character gets changed a little bit. They add a bunch of new characters. Some characters get full revamps. They change it from 6v6 to 5v5, and they remove one of the tanks. So every, 2 of every class, instead of 2 tanks, it's 1 tank. So the tank is so much more important. Now that I played the game and I played enough matches, I think this is a good change. I think the team dynamic, it's really fun. It's really good. It makes you have to play as a team. Like the thing I learned was like jumping into random games. Like if you don't communicate with people, then like it's just not going to work because like every role is important. Healers are so much, not that they weren't important, but they're so important. Like there's one tank, that tank goes down, you're all going to die. Like it is a so much more dynamic game. It's also now a free-to-play game. And the monetization aspect of it is horrible. I play a lot of Fortnite. We play Fortnite. We play multiverses. In multiverses, I can play a couple hours and unlock a new character. It would take me 2 months of constant play to unlock one skin because you get 100 credits and the credits are and the skins are 2,000 credits. So it's a fudged up system right now. People do not like it. The gameplay is great. The free-to-play monetization system is really bad. Luckily, they'll fix it over time, as every single free-to-play system has been fixed. Like Fortnite didn't start amazing. Multiverse because that just knows what it's doing. But it makes me really happy that at least the game is there because I know the people at Blizzard, they love that game and the fans love that game, and that is a really cool world, and it feels so good to play. Like I went back to my girl May, putting up ice walls, trolling people. Shit's so good. It feels really good. Realizing that I wouldn't be able to unlock a skin for like a month really bummed me out. And the fact that there are so many other multiplayer games that I like playing.
Were all your skins there?
Yes, they were. So yeah, if you played Overwatch 1, all that stuff comes in, luckily. It did take me a couple days to unlock that because of the server shit, but it all worked out. But unless they fix the monetization stuff, like I would so much rather play multiverses.
You'll
or
burn
Fortnite.
out on it quick.
I'll burn out, yeah. And like, again, the gameplay is good, but like Overwatch is a game I want to play with my friends. Whereas Multiverse of Fortnite, I can play on my own.
Is the campaign stuff available yet?
No, it's only multiplayer, and it's a lot. There's only a couple new maps. So the thing is, if you guys play, it'll feel like Overwatch 1. But there are enough subtle changes where it is a different game. But my main problem is that Overwatch 1 is not a game you can play anymore. Specifically on the PlayStation, Overwatch 2 is in place of Overwatch 1. It just took its place on the server.
Right.
It took its place on the server. So you can't. Overwatch 1 doesn't exist anymore. That was a perfectly fine game for a lot of people.
Right.
Also, a big thing which they changed yesterday was you need a phone number to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have prepaid phones like Mint Mobile and Cricket and stuff like those. Those didn't work. So regular people could not play this game. People who played Overwatch for 6 years could not play Overwatch. And then of course they fixed that shit. But like EA, Activision up top, just the trickle down shittiness on Blizzard, like it's there, and it's just such a bummer because like, again, I'm just so glad the game itself is good. So like in a year, baby, that game's gonna be great. But right now, like I'm not gonna play 400 matches to unlock one thing. Like no way, bro.
No.
I'm glad it's back though. It is a fun game. Like when I was hot and heavy, I was having so much fun. But then I get to the screen and I look at the battle pass and I'm like, oh, this battle pass kind of sucks too. So, maybe I would rather just have a $60 game for this specific type of game. But they make more money with free to play stuff. So
that was the thing is I didn't mind like the skin progression system that Overwatch had. I rather liked it once I paid for the game because I felt like I felt like I earned enough things through gameplay to make choices for purchasing the skins that I wanted to, and then I frequently randomly was rewarded.
Yeah, so the thing is, Overwatch 1 was loot box based, and we all know loot box are terrible. It is a gambling. It is terrible for children. Bad incentives are formed into children when loot boxes are a thing at an early age. Mm-hmm. Overwatch fans will tell you it is the only game that had good loot boxes.
It's true.
It is the only one where you actually felt rewarded. Like even if it's just like a gun skin or a random skin, you're still getting it. Other games will give you less.
I think the only problem they had I think all loot box systems generally suffer from this, but Overwatch, I wish they had fixed it. was when you open a loot box and you would get a repeat. And
Mhm.
at a certain point, there were enough items in the game where I'm like, this just shouldn't happen. If you
It's
have
true.
something, it should be something different.
That is something the Avengers game. One of the only things they do really well is if you have a repeat skin, they'll give you credit for it.
Well, they give you credits in Overwatch also.
Okay, there
You get
Okay.
the gold credits and everything to purchase another skin, but I'm like, it just
You
just shouldn't
repeat
get
so
that
much
at all.
Yeah.
It should give you something new.
Yeah. I will say there is one benefit that I really like. There is the support class, the healers. Not a lot of people like healing. Because like it's a less offensive class.
Love healing in Overwatch.
Yes. The thing about for me is like I like attacking. I like being front and center. They added a new hero, who is the sister to Genji and the other guy. They're all related. But she's a healer, but she throws kunais and she also throws like healing talismans. So she is a straight up like offensive like sniper and a combative healer. And she can immediately teleport to you if you need help. And I love her. She's the support class that I wanted like for 6 years. I'm like, oh my god, like I can just it's almost like Anna, like a better version of Anna with her sniper rifle sniper thing, healing.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it's like a better version of that, and I love it. So like one day we will play Overwatch again. It is free, so you don't have to buy it. And all the stuff will be unlocked from Overwatch 1, so you'll have all that shit. So like the gameplay is there. I wish the model around it was something I wanted to support. So I'm probably not going to play it for a little bit. That's my week. Happy Halloween.
Cool. I'll go next actually because I also don't have a lot. I also rewatched Hellraiser for. No, I'm kidding.
That would have been awesome.
No, I've actually never seen any of the Hellraiser movies. I want to change that though. I only want to say because I also watched. We all went to see Trick or Treat together.
Sure.
Great movie. I finally watched the Quantum Leap reboot. My mom and I needed something to watch when we had dinner. We were like, well, screw it. There's four episodes. 3 episodes that we watched.
12 episodes.
And I'm really happy to say it's really good. I was saying what?
Look, it's the Bloodstone. It's
Oh,
red.
yeah.
Ah! Amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
I really like Quantum Leap. Big fan of it from when I was a kid, watching it on reruns on the Sci-Fi Channel. And as I've mentioned before, like Scott Bakula, not saying that he's not in this new one, kind of took the wind out of my sails. I'm really happy I took the chance on the show anyway because it's different, but in a good way. There's a lot more focus on the mystery of why this new character has leaped, why he made the decision to leap. There's a specific, we find out pretty early on that there's actually a specific point in the timeline that he's trying to get to. So in Quantum Leap, you can only go back as far as your own timeline. So the moment you are born, you can't go any further than that.
Wait, doesn't he go back to Jesus times?
No.
Oh.
One time he does go to the 1800s, and that's like the whole point of that moment is to be like, how did you do this? This shouldn't be possible. And then it's revealed that like the end of the series that he can go wherever, it doesn't matter. But when this new guy leaps, he still has the same parameters because he's using the same technology, and God hasn't taken it over yet, I guess. And there's a program running within the leap system that is pinpointing specific moments in time that will kind of like loop him through the tapestry of time so that he can slingshot further than anyone has ever gone before to a specific moment in time. And I was like, that's a really rad way to do that. And you kind of like keep some serialization, which is pretty big in network TV right now. Because the first series is very episodic, you can jump in whenever. But this one is very much like, you can jump in whenever, but you're rewarded if you keep going. All the new characters are a lot of fun. There's a lot more focus on the other side of the leap process now. So we see like the team working in the present day, trying to help our main character, Ben. By the way, it's very strange that the main characters of both shows have been friends of mine. I've been named, I have my friends' names. So like the dynamic between the hologram and the leapy is not as bad as the trailer made it out to be, I'm really happy to say there's a lot of good chemistry between the two. There's some tragedy there that I'm really invested in, especially because we see her side of everything. And that really helps because we get to see how hard it is for her to be with this person who doesn't remember her, trying to help him through these leaps. And then there's the last thing I kind of want to say about it is that there's a really great tribute to Dean Stockwell. In the universe, the character Dean Stockwell plays, Al, is dead. He died. They kind of make so that he died the same time that the actor did. He has a daughter who has co-opted the Quantum Leap program for some reason, and she's kind of an antagonist in the show. But there's like, I have two theories. I think she's either trying to save her dad from dying, or she's trying to find out what happened to Sam, which is the main character of the original show. I would be very happy with either of those, but honestly, I'm not even too sure about those. It's fun. I'm really happy with it.
I've heard people online saying like they're pleasantly surprised too, which is really nice because I know I didn't connect to that trailer, so I'm really glad. Yeah,
that's a horrible trailer.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm really happy.
I'm so happy with the show. I'm actually eagerly anticipating tomorrow's episode.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a good place to be when you're like not sure about something that you want to be good and it ends up being good.
Yeah.
Recommend it. Even if you haven't seen the original Quantum Leap show, I recommend going to it. It's a good time.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Hell yeah. Benjamino.
My turn. Also, do apologies because we just finished eating dinner right before we started recording and they're doing the dishes. So if you hear clanking, that's why. Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot this week. I just pretty much was doing some writing. The main media thing I did do was I finally saw Trick or Treat for the first time. This was my very first time ever seeing this movie. Never seen it before. And I really liked it. I had an absolute blast. And it wasn't until earlier today when I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? Trick or Treat is the type of Halloween movie that I wish more were made of. Not just like a straight up horror movie, but like a movie that revolves around Halloween. And I don't know, it just scratched some sort of itch for me. Because, you know, obviously Halloween is like, hey, let's watch scary movies. But a lot of horror movies don't center around Halloween. They don't. It's like, it's Halloween. You got some really cool monsters, some ghouls, ghosts, and all that jazz. And Trick or Treat scratched an itch that I've been wanting scratched for a very long time. Now, even the Michael Myers Halloween films, they work, but it's just one man. It's not any cool supernatural spooky stuff. This one, you got like a lot of cool supernatural spooky stuff, a lot of great twists that I kind of saw coming, but at the same time, I was still very pleasantly surprised. I mean, I know the movie's like, what, 12 years old?
Can I real quickly
15
Can
years
I real
old,
quickly bounce off what you were saying, Ben? I've seen the movie before, but I haven't seen it since it first came out in 2007. I forgot about the reveal of the Anna Paquin story.
Yeah.
That was a really cool surprise.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh, right.
Yeah, that was an extremely fun reveal. And just like the whole time I'm sitting there watching this, I'm like, wait a minute. Like the dots are slowly connecting. I'm connecting the dots. I'm filling in the empty puzzle pieces. And then the reveal happens. It's like, oh, I knew it was coming. But at the same time, it's like, I knew it. It's not like I knew it was coming a mile away. This is bad. It was like, I still want to see what happens.
If listeners at home, if you haven't heard of Trick or Treat, it is a horror anthology that came out in 2007. It's awesome. It was straight to DVD, so it was the first time it was in theaters that we got to see, which is really, really lovely. Yeah, I really think it's, having rewatched it again, like it is one of the best Halloween movies, one of the best anthologies ever made.
And also I just love how it weaves the stories in. I mean, it doesn't like tell one story, then another story, then another story. It's all like interconnected slowly but surely. And you don't spend a lot of time on certain characters and then I don't even know how long we spend on a certain character or who gets the most amount of screen time. But either way, it's still a very easy progression throughout the entire film. And that was loud, sorry. And I highly enjoyed it. I definitely say it's like, I'm kind of mad at myself for this is my first time seeing it. And it's been out for 15 years.
It's, to be fair, it is also more of like a cult hit. Because again, it wasn't even released in theaters. So like, if you know horror movies, you know it, but like, it's not as big as like a Halloween movie.
There's another good Halloween anthology film that's out there called 31 Days of Halloween.
VHS.
Or 31 Tales of Halloween. That was also straight to Blu-ray DVD. It is not quite on the level of Trick or Treat, but it's not bad. Those shorts are all, it's many little anthology stories, and they're not interconnected.
Also, the ABCs of horror, those are like shorts. They're like every.
But I was talking like a specifically revolving around Halloween one kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the Trick or Treat existed because I remember seeing a trailer for it in front of a movie that I owned. I just can't remember which movie it was exactly.
Through a maze of it.
Yeah, I did. I walked. I was getting to that. I walked through the maze of it at Horror Nights a few years ago, and I'm like, I mean, this is cool. Don't know what's going on. And also, the only bit of the maze I remember is the kid in the beginning who pukes his guts out because he has cyanide or something.
I forgot, because again, it's been so long. I forgot that kid. If you're a fan of the Bad Christmas with Billy Bob Thornton, Bad Santa movie, that's Thurman Merman from Bad Santa. Man, what a character actor! What a little guy.
Yeah,
love it.
So, yeah. Besides that, that was the main thing I did. Today, I watched some football with my mom. That was fun. Cool. And other than that, didn't just got some writing done. I got some, and I'm just anxiously counting down the days until I fly out to Portland. That's pretty much I just cannot wait
to be king.
All right, shall we get into our bread and butter then?
Oh, I'm so ready. Bread and butter.
I was trying to get it in there before the burp. I missed. Okay. Sad news up top. Sachin Littlefeather passed away this week. Now, if you have not heard this person's name, that is understandable. But you will probably remember the story when she went to the Academy Awards to decline Marlon Brando's Best Actor Oscar win. She was asked by Marlon Brando to go up there and talk about, I believe something happened. I think it's called Wounded Knee. In the 70s, and she was there to kind of protest that, and she talked about the treatment of Native Americans and film. And John Wayne almost clocked her lights out. She was issued an apology just this year by the Academy. She was given an apology for.
It's only like 50 years late, but it's fine. You know,
only 50 years late.
Exactly. Only because the Will Smith slap shit happened, honestly, and that created enough buzz about like how they reacted to that, and they're like, cool, but this was okay, and they're like, no, that was not okay. Fun fact, they were invited to the Academy Museum. I'm not going to name names, but we know somebody who worked there when this happened. Her family and her were invited there, and while they were there, they left John Wayne clips playing on the TVs in the front of the museum as they came in.
No thoughts there.
So the notion that this has all been not as well thought out or put forward is there. Sorry.
Yeah. No, she was a big activist. She really influential figure in the Native American community. She passed away due to breast cancer just this week at the age of 75.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Wasn't she also supposed to come back to the next the Oscars that are coming up to receive some sort of? I read that they were gonna bring her back or something.
Don't know anything about that.
I'll look up.
I could be wrong. So
either way, it's very sad that most people, including myself, didn't know anything about her until after Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock at the Oscars, and that created the buzz to talk about this. Yeah, unfortunate that it took all that for this.
I'm really glad that I did learn about her, though. She was a cool figure. I really like the balls of just going up in front of the Academy to tell them all to screw off. The night afterwards, she ruined the whole night. I think that's really great. Like the people were like, "Oh, I hope this person doesn't have a cause." When they read the Best Actress nominees, so that's too bad. She was a
F the awards, man.
I still like watching them at least. Kim Jung-gi passed away this week. He is an artist known for crazy freehand art. This one incredible.
This one sucks.
He reportedly had bad chest pains on his way to New York Comic Con. and when he was rushed to the hospital, and he died in the hospital.
His Comic-Con booth obviously was empty, and it's
Yeah.
just covered with flowers and notes of people who loved him. And it
that's
was
sweet.
That was how old was he? How old was he? 47?
47 years old.
Yeah, dude. I wasn't super familiar with his work, but his art is effing insane. And similarly, there was an AI artist guy going, if you miss this guy, I made some great AI generated art. Just give me credit using his. And I never wanted to punch my computer more in my life. Yeah, this really sucked because we're not 40s, but that dude's young, and he was on
47, too young.
going to Comic-Con and I don't feel right, and it sucks.
Was it a heart attack or?
I don't think we know yet.
It has not been released what the cause of death was exactly. Ben, I'm sure you haven't seen his artwork around. I highly recommend you look up some of the videos of his artwork. He drew in pen the final picture. No pencils, no faded lines to tell you where to go. He just did that. It was all in his mind. The man was an artistic genius. I remember when DC, I think, commissioned a few variants from him, and they were really sought after, and they went off the shelf right away. I've watched the video of him I've watched videos of him drawing constantly. They're so cool to watch.
Yeah, this is a bummer.
Yeah. 47 is far too young. All right, moving on. The El Muerto movie is apparently still happening.
Yeah, it is.
Sony has hired Gareth Dunnett Alosser, who has to write the script for El Muerto. He also wrote the script for Blue Beetle, the upcoming Blue Beetle film, and he had written the last big thing he wrote was a movie called Miss Bala, with Gina Rodriguez. It's a pretty good movie. I liked it.
Cool. I don't. This is the one character that nobody really cares about. It has literally 2 appearances. If anything, again, I don't care. This has the room to be the most innovative and do whatever they want with it to tell a really cool story. But right now, I don't care. But not being tied to Spider-Man as a character or anything I don't know. I'm trying to be positive.
I think we all have the same. Sparks is kind of looking at you really? You want to be positive?
No. I'd rather live in positivity than negativity. Just I think we're all. I was saying that I think we're all on the same page of I don't know what to make of this. This is a weird situation that they've decided to adapt this character specifically with this Bad Bunny, not an actor, is a singer. No, Bad Bunny's he is a singer, but he was in Bullet Train.
Okay. Oh, he was in Bullet Train.
He's the wolf. He's the guy. He fights Brad Pitt.
Oh, cool.
He's actually, I think he's really charming, and I've seen some interviews. He's really cool. Again, it's not a character I care about, so I'm more interested in this than Kraven because I care about Kraven. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
I have to admit that unfortunately, Bullet Train's not a great reference point of how much he can perform, only because he has minimal amount of lines.
No, that's fair. He can be. He's good action in it.
Yeah,
good stunt performer.
Yeah.
The thing about it, and I did see people bringing this up because I'm a white dude. This guy is a Mexican director, and he comes from that background. And him bringing that his own flair and cultural identity to this character can be something unique that the Spider-Man universe doesn't have. And maybe they picked the character where they really could just do whatever they want with. Again, why this character? But
I think my big thing is that if they're going into it with the mindset of telling their own story rather than trying to shoehorn a way of expanding another corner of whatever stupid Spider-Man thing they're trying to do,
it's just weird. It's him.
As long as they're as long as they're going at it with they're doing something of their own and not just trying to make that work.
Yeah,
I have no qualms. This could be an enjoyable film.
Yeah.
I have no attachment to El Muerto, but I won't roll that.
Could be the next Werewolf by Night. Who knows?
But it's all about the mindset of not even necessarily the director, but what are the pressures the studio is going to put on as far as if they try to shoehorn too much connectivity to these other properties that they're trying to make their little pocket universe out of. I think that's the thing that's going to detract from the movie.
Yeah.
And as long as they're not, that doesn't happen, we won't know. But as long as that doesn't happen, I have no reason to be anti El Muerto. I'm more anti these other things because that is what they're trying to do. They are trying to force these pocket universe bullshit that's just not working because they don't put the quality into it.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
that's
kind
kind of. Go ahead, Ryan, sorry.
I was gonna say I am kind of excited about Russell Crowe and Craven though. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Sparks is absolutely right. You know, when you look at like, that's kind of the biggest problem with all of these movies. Like, you try to shoehorn Spider-Man into all of these movies without just kind of trying to do something interesting and fun, and it's not working. And I wish they would. I wish they would do something fun.
Venom 2 is a really good example of, hey, just make a fun movie.
Yes.
It's not tied to Spider-Man.
Yes.
Like the Craven plot itself is bad. I'm not excited about the plot, but like everything surrounding it and the actors involved, I'm like, there's something there that Aaron Taylor Johnson really seems to believe, and like I've really grown to like that guy.
So you want to believe?
Because I want to believe, but
Right.
like it took Venom to get to Venom 2. So like the first Craven, I'm like, who knows? Man, it's so weird. What a weird universe they're not building fast enough.
I think the more that El Muerto can stand on its own, the better off it'll be.
Yeah.
Did you see the Madam Web set photos?
Yeah, I'm excited for that movie for real.
I'm really curious what that movie's going to be now.
Pulling from the Straczynski run, my favorite Spider-Man run. Yeah, not what I expected. Very, very curious. Very weird.
Why don't we move on to Spawn? Spawn. Todd McFarlane's teasing all week. Big news for Spawn.
Delays even.
But the day came, and the big news is that they have a team of writers that are working on the script for Jamie Foxx to star in Spawn. Scott Silver, who wrote 8 Mile and Joker.
Okay.
With Malcolm Spellman, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Empire. And Matthew Mixam, who doesn't have a lot of credits to his name, nothing that we would know, just a couple shorts, will write the scripts together.
Okay. That first guy is really good. 8 Mile is an Academy Award-winning movie.
Yeah, it's real. Could go either way.
It is but like, I mean, like, there are worse names to have, I guess.
No, there are.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, doesn't immediately give me super hope though.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
I feel like Spawn has a lot of room for success.
Todd McFarlane's directing it.
Yeah, could go either way.
Maybe.
This
I
could
want to
be.
believe.
I do think Spawn could either be a really great movie or a really bad movie.
I'm just saying, the last time a comic book guy tried to direct his own stuff was Frank Miller in The Spirit. So
it could either be a really great. No,
it could be really, yeah. It could be Sin City or The Spirit.
Yeah, who knows? I'm surprised that's coming.
Just
And
like
it's still Jamie Foxx.
Just for like spirit comparison, like I didn't hate watching it.
That's true.
I like looking at it.
It was interesting. It wasn't.
It's not a good movie.
It's interesting to watch.
Not a good movie.
I'm not saying that. It's not the word I'm
just
saying.
saying. No, I know, but Todd McFarlane is a guy who's never directed a movie, and we're going to give him a $100 million blockbuster.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
that's the part I don't. You can be a great writer. You might look bad, but who knows?
I
It could be a Clive
this-
Barker situation where he's actually a really good filmmaker.
Right.
I bet this is $50 million, and Jamie Foxx isn't the star.
And he isn't the star?
No, I bet Jamie Foxx stays.
No,
So like
he's
someone,
good.
so Spawn is the side character, not the main character.
That is a cool approach to it, I guess. Okay.
Just kind of like I'm thinking, like, what studio would give Todd McFarlane that much money to make a Spawn movie? But a $50 million movie, well, that has a low risk, high reward. Jamie Foxx is like a co-lead in it, and Spawn just kind of shows up as like just like randomly throughout the movie. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Sony would.
You're right.
I'm trying to see if I can find budget.
Paramount would if they had faith.
Ooh, Paramount.
Ooh, what are you doing, Paramount?
I'm just saying, all this information spawns at Paramount. Do we all go?
Ooh, actually, this gives me even more exciting news. The budget's apparently $10 million.
Interesting.
That means it's a low-budget horror movie. Ooh,
Yeah.
Todd, maybe you speak to me, Todd. Do something, please.
We've seen some pretty good low-budget horror movies, especially genre.
Less money with a director without experience makes me more excited. So, like, the fact that it's
You have
not
to be more creative.
exactly like $100 million with someone who's never handled that much money before. Like, we've seen how the X-Men Origins. Oh, that's how that happens. Like,
Yeah.
10 million. It actually makes me really excited. Okay, Spawn.
Five Nights at Freddy's, then.
Ben,
Speaking of horror, Five Nights at Freddy's, Ben's favorite game of all time. Five Nights at Freddy's is finally getting its live action adaptation. We have the director, Emma Tammy, will direct the film, and confirming the news that we heard a while ago, Jason Blum of Blumhouse confirmed that Jim Henson's Creature Shop is working on the animatronics for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Those animatronics are gonna look damn good.
I'm not familiar with this person's work, so I'm trying to see. They do okay, all right, okay. They got a couple things. Cool.
I didn't see anything that I saw personally.
No, yeah, I didn't recognize it either, but like, she has work. This is in terms of making a movie, a pretty fun, easy movie to make, low budget, trapped in with spooky monsters. Again, Willy's Wonderland came out, and even the most diehard Nick Cage fan, like, that movie's not good. Like, he makes that movie fun, but without him, that movie's a disaster. So like, the fact that we're actually gonna get a real version of it that like everyone wants with the budget and Blumhouse, hell yeah, animatronic puppets. They're too spooky.
Yeah.
I'm mostly excited for, even if the movie ends up being bad, I would see it for the animatronics because I'm very excited for that.
Oh no, I was thinking the exact same thing. With Jim Henson's creature department behind it, it's like, I mean, the movie could be horrible, but at least the creatures are gonna look good. At least those puppets are gonna look scary, and I'm gonna see it just for that. So
I can't wait for the Fortnite skins to come out in time with the movie.
Oh, that's
Just
right.
maybe we can give Jim Henson's Creature Shop enough money to buy a new voice actor for Kermit.
Nope. Oh no. They are committed to their choice.
That's true. Also, Jim Henson's Creature Shop, I don't think actually owns the Muppets anymore. Avengers: Secret Wars.
Oh.
They have a writer,
Ooh, people are mixed.
Michael Waldron,
Hell yeah.
is going to write Avengers: Secret Wars. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and Loki.
I mean, it just makes sense.
I'm very happy with this choice because whether I think Loki's script is, I think overall Loki's script's really good. I can argue that the script itself for Doctor Strange isn't great, but the ideas and the fun in the script are there. The fun, cool ideas are there. The Illuminati, that's where the problem in the script, not the cool action that happens.
But interestingly, that's not actually in the script. That was just Benedict Cumberbatch saying it on the day, and he fought to keep it.
Benedict, that's why you're an actor. I think Michael Waldron is a dude. Again, I think he's another Rick and Morty alum. But like, Rick and Morty people have to be really creative, right? So like, it makes sense. Like, that is there's like a through line. I really love Loki. I really love Doctor Strange. Michael Waldron is a guy who clearly gets like genre really well. Like, man, Loki and Doctor Strange are the two most hardcore genre shit happening in the MCU right now. So like, that's really, really fun. I know people are not excited about it. Some people are, because people don't like Doctor Strange. I'm thrilled.
I really love Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's one of my favorites of the MCU. I'm a little mixed on this though.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm positive because we know there's a lot from just him. He's just spoken a lot about deleted concepts from the Multiverse of Madness that never made it out of the script phase. I know he could probably make the movie that Secret Wars probably needs to be. And I also know that he works well with the director. He constantly talks about how he kept rewriting scenes to fit Sam Raimi's tone. And I think it paid off for the most part. Because I think Sam Raimi really comes through in that movie. So, depending on the director of Avengers: Secret Wars, I think the two of them could probably make a pretty damn good movie.
Man, I think the 1-2 punch of Jeff Loveness writing the Kang Dynasty, and then Michael Waldron, like those are two hardcore comic book nerdy dudes. Like that is the dream that I wanted. Sorry, Marcus McFeely.
Look, my main thing that gives me like positivity for Michael Waldron.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Is that when he was doing interview stuff, he was talking about Multiverse of Madness. I believe this was on the Ringer episode he was on, and he said that when he came on to Multiverse of Madness originally in the script version, it was that Wanda was going to be the villain at the very end of the film. And he came in and he was coming from like a slim amount of knowledge of the arc of WandaVision. And he said, this makes no sense. Why would we do a whole arc of her for her to become the villain at the end when we've already had the arc of WandaVision? Why are we just continuing that? She should start off as the villain. And regardless of how like WandaVision didn't set up that piece very well for those to work in tandem. It is him understanding the importance of what should be happening for something fresh and moving the story forward for the overall MCU. He understood coming into it that there was no point. If they were going to make one of the villain, he's like, it shouldn't be a thing that we're just setting up at the end of this movie. It should just be this movie.
Yeah.
There's no point in holding that off after you've just done WandaVision. What story does that tell? And that gives me faith. I have more faith in him than I had in our two Infinity War and Endgame writers, because I don't think that they understood the voices of all the characters that they wrote or how to thematically tie them up. And I think Waldron has a better grasp of the MCU as a whole.
I agree with that.
Just from things he said.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. The better grasp of the MCU. Waldron is also kind of one of those writers who has come up. You know, he wrote like an episode or two of two different TV shows, and then went to do, what was that?
I don't know.
Anybody
That was in your room for sure.
Oh no. And then he got to show run Loki, and then he got the thing. Like, normally Michael Waldron is in that category of just like these writers that I kind of look at Marvel and just say, okay, you really only got them because they were cheap. But Waldron, I think, has kind of worked out in their favor, because for whatever that is, Feige really likes him. Feige likes him so much that he's writing his Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Michael Waldron is writing that Star Wars movie that Feige is producing. And I like Feige. I have no reason to think that he has bad taste. And I've liked Michael Waldron a lot.
Yeah. I think importantly, a lot of other things that Waldron has done very blatantly in talking about, like creating, like working on Loki and working on Doctor Strange, he's very collaborative, not just with like the producers and everything, but with the production team or the writing staff on Loki. So like he works really well with others. And I think Waldron doesn't feel like he's closed off to only his ideas of what the story should be, and open to all kinds of interpretations. And I don't think that's something we had with Marcus and McFeely for the Avengers. And I think that's super important. So Waldron gives me more faith than most.
God, could you?
Plus, if he correctly, if he wrote the Loki finale, he knew how to write Jonathan Majors super good.
Yeah.
Like that is a scene of talking that's an episode of talking that's just super, super good.
Juicy good shit.
So
could you imagine a world where Sam Raimi directs the final Avengers movie?
Boy.
Dude, I would. I'm saying Michael Waldron, that like I don't think it's gonna happen, but it gives me like 10% more. Like, what if? Ooh, that's the what if that I wanna watch, man. He's busy doing other stuff. I know,
but like I would like it. I don't know if he would even want to. It would be a very big movie.
It would be the biggest movie ever made, and I don't know if he just wants to ever make that. Well, he made Doctor Strange though, so
Doctor Strange,
you can't be as much owning your tone.
Yeah,
with that kind of film as you are with Doctor Strange.
That is true, but you can you could still add the Sam Raimi flair to it.
No, yeah.
So like,
I'm not saying he's incapable.
Yeah. I think that'd be such a fun challenge. Oh man, it's not good.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Ben?
Thumbs up from Ben.
You like Avengers?
Ben's like, I'm gonna see it.
It's an Avengers movie. Of course I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
And also all the stuff that Brandon was saying about how he worked with Sam Raimi to fill it, to rewrite scenes to fit Sam Raimi's tone. I mean, that gives me hope. Everything you guys are saying is like, this gives me hope. So I'm looking forward to it.
Whoop whoop.
Some casting news then. Dune, The Sisterhood, has cast its two lead actresses.
Bene Gesserit.
Emily Watson and Shirley Henderson will star in the series for HBO Max that will be set 10,000 years before Dune and follows the Harkonnen sisters as they combat forces that threaten the future of humankind and establish the Bene Gesserit.
Prequels are back, baby. They're back. These two ladies are super intense actors. Super intense, very good, very witchy vibes. I believe one of them was in The Witch. So I am thrilled. I love this. I keep thinking that show's canceled, and they're like, no, we're doing it. This is going to be an expensive Apple show. Nope. Apple?
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
I'll be honest, like, Dune shows always felt like they were living in the same, like, conversation as Dark Tower shows, where I was like, yeah, but they won't do it.
Because again, you can't not have this is a big budget show. Y'all saw Dune. Like, you can't half-ass this one. So like, it's real, and they got like real actors. Like, man, it's a good time for me. Happy birthday.
Sparks, unfortunately, has now made me sad because I remember I was really excited for those Dark Tower shows.
You know, it really was the right way to go about it. A trilogy of films with, I think, 2 seasons of television in between each set of films.
That'd be so.
That's truly the correct way to try and adapt that series. I can't think of a better way ever since I heard it. It's unfortunate that didn't come to pass.
The fact
whatsoever.
that we still don't have, like, we make a TV show and then the next thing is a movie. Like, the fact that still has not ever happened blows my mind. Like, the synergy is so easy. I feel like whatever. I don't know.
Well, it happened. It used to happen a lot, in Hollywood, but then it stopped.
Well, like old school. I'm talking not old stuff. Like where it's like you can make something for $7. I mean, like you make a Game of Thrones season 1, and then the House of the Dragon movie comes out. Like,
no, I know. I was agreeing with you because it felt like that would have been the natural progression. If we kept going from like the 80s and 90s, where we would make movies off of TV shows once the show has ended or been canceled. Yeah. It felt like the natural progression of that would be what we're seeing now, which would be like Game of Thrones season 1, big budget movie, as you said. And I wonder if
Downton Abbey's doing it.
Downton Abbey is doing it, exactly. And I always just kind of felt like it's just weird that we don't do it. Like, quite honestly, it's just weird that we don't do it.
We are getting, and I don't count this as the same, getting like sequel movies, like 10, 15 years later on the streaming service. I'm not counting that as the same thing.
Yeah,
sure. But that's because
I get you. You're talking like in the moment.
In the moment, absolutely, yeah.
It is in retrospect, it remains weird that Game of Thrones finale was not a film.
Yeah. That would have been
bet to be a movie that I went and spent money on.
No, for real. But like, no joke, that probably would have been like one of the highest grossing movies of all time. With the amount of people watching Game of Thrones and its height, that would have been $1 billion hour and a half movie.
It's genuinely stunning from like a marketing standpoint that they didn't go for that.
Yeah. What the MCU is the closest. Oh, it is doing it with Captain America. That is the first one. There we go. We're getting it. Thank you. Hope it's good.
As Ryan mentioned, prequels are back, baby. Because Tom Welling has been cast in The Winchesters, the Supernatural prequel. Tom Welling will play Samuel Campbell, who was Sam and Dean's grandfather.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, I'm glad that guy's getting a paycheck.
He needs to fund that Smallville animated show.
Is that happening still?
He and Michael Rosenbaum always talk about it.
They got a podcast. That's a charming podcast. The Smallville.
That's also watch funding it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, self-funding it maybe.
They'll make that show
one day.
Whether it kills them.
It's interesting because both of them had like zero interest in returning, and then changed their minds.
Hey man,
I guess if it can be animated.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Yeah.
Well, because it was always a bummer that, although we heard the details like why Rosenbaum wasn't part of the Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, but it's always a bummer that he wasn't part of that too.
Yeah.
I always really liked when Smallville went to comics. The season 11 comics I thought were really good. Continuing Smallville in another format was always enticing to me, so I hope it does come back.
Mm-hmm.
Agatha Coven of Chaos. Emma Caulfield Force has confirmed that she will return as Dottie from WandaVision.
This is weird.
This is really cool. Because it before Doctor Strange 2 came out, people thought that was Clea,
right? Trapped
in the thing, because she's a blonde lady. There's only a couple of characters that could be. It's not her. So everyone's going, okay, who's another blonde mystical lady? And it's Arcana Jones, who's from the Squadron Supreme. Why they would choose her to do this? Like, it is weird. She's coming back, so people think she is a real character. Otherwise, why bring back Dottie? As that is weird.
Well, the show is set in Westview.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird in context of like we see her freed from Wanda at the end and just confused and upset.
Yeah,
and so it's like, okay, what?
I want to believe that like Marvel's always just trying to give us a little more character stuff here and there. So like I hope she is a obscure villain or obscure character.
Happy for Anya. Would love to see her more. I have no problem with that. I'm just confused as to how that will go about, but that's fine.
Yeah,
she mentioned, she brought this up in the same interview that she also talked about an illness that she is suffering from, and it seemed like to me from that interview that she was saying that because the show would be set in Westview, because at last time we saw Agatha, she had her mind wiped. So that's kind of what it felt like. She was saying, like, yeah, I'm back as a resident of Westview
Okay.
now that it's not hexed anymore.
She would just be coming back as a regular person.
I think odds are probably that, like, before Agatha, because Agatha will have to get her memories back at some point in the show, or there's no show.
Yeah.
Probably before that, she's probably Agatha's confidant or friend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited that show's happening. Love Agatha.
Can't wait to see who else might show up on that show.
Who else might show up on that? It's not Elsa. It wouldn't be her.
I really like the title of that show. All right. In news that only I will care about, The Nun 2, Tessa Farmiga will return as Sister Irene. I'm excited. Let's move on.
Ben loves the Conjuring films. What do you mean? Give him a moment to talk about it.
But nobody likes The Nun.
Yeah,
I'm the only one who likes The Nun.
That's not true. I think The Nun's fine.
Okay.
I like the line where he goes, "Holy shit, the holiest."
Yes, I do too.
That's
That
good.
sequence. That sequence where all the bells ring above the graves is really good.
And Thaisa Farmiga is a very talented person, so
She is.
so them coming back is cool. Like I'll wait for reviews. Like I'm not holding out hope.
I'm struggling to remember how that movie ends, but I remember it being visually wild.
I don't remember at all.
She yeah, it said like there's like this pool and like Valak is attacking them in this like large underground pool. That was really cool.
Yeah.
She I just found out is Vera Farmiga's sister, and there's a 30-year age gap.
You didn't know that?
You didn't know that?
No, I thought
Yeah,
I thought Tessa was Vera's daughter.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, they're sisters.
From other
And there's 4 siblings between them.
Yep.
the Farmigas.
That shouldn't be weird to you.
No, it's not. It's just I thought it was a mother-daughter situation because it's 30 years.
I get it, but I mean, you of all people.
I know. I have my brother is 30 years older than me.
Right.
Nosferatu, the Robert Eggers remake. Nicholas Hoult is replacing Harry Styles.
Yes, God's good.
I also just found out Harry Styles was originally cast in this movie.
Yeah, this is
Who
great.
was he playing?
Did we talk about Harry Styles being Nosferatu, or was that some other podcast?
No. He wasn't Nosferatu. Last week, you guys were talking about how it was
Bill Skarsgård.
Thank you, Bill Skarsgård, who got cast as him.
Yep.
Harry Styles was probably Renfield or something else.
Okay.
Not Renfield. Sorry,
Nicholas-
this isn't Dracula. But he's probably some other character. God,
Nicholas Hoult is Renfield. Nicholas Hoult is playing Renfield in the Dracula movie with Nicolas Cage.
There you go. That's why that was there.
Can't be two Renfields.
Or can you?
Too many.
I just remember the movie exists and I'm really excited.
Yeah, those set pieces were like, wow, Nick Cage, you look hilarious. Hell yeah.
I hope it's a good movie. Like Robert Eggers gives me a lot of faith. There's only been one other Nosferatu remake, so who knows?
Ready for it.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has cast Eka Darville from Jessica Jones. He's the neighbor who helped Jessica.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Real quick, just because it was funny. When you guys were talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes last week, someone must have posted a comment right at that moment talking about Sigourney Weaver in the Avatar 2 trailer. You guys did not make that clear because you were talking about a little girl in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and all of a sudden it was like, yeah, and it'll be played by Sigourney Weaver. And I think she'll have her voice, and I was like, what happened?
Yeah, because some lady...
I figured it out through context clues and listening to it twice.
Gail, I remember Gail asked, have you guys seen this thing? Then we talked about it. Yeah. I get it.
I was very confused. I was like, what little girl is returning in Kingdom
of
of the Planet of the
No,
Apes?
it's very clear.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
Yeah, anyway, I like that guy. He's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Warner Brothers Discovery, but not all bad.
No.
We'll get there.
No.
Harley Quinn, the animated series, is announced this week that a Valentine's Day special will air on Valentine's Day in February of 2023.
Neat.
Good for them.
Lovely.
The Penguin is circling a director in the form of Craig Zobel, who directed The Mayor of Easttown.
Oh, okay.
So that's exciting. They're looking to start filming soon.
Yeah, Colin Farrell's back as a penguin.
None of the bad stuff.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
Sparks, you know about Craig at the Creek.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, was this the tweet you made earlier this week?
Oh, I made many tweets.
Oh, okay.
So, Craig of the Creek and a show called Jessica's Little Big World, which I believe is a spinoff of Craig of the Creek.
It is a spin-off series that has not aired yet.
So they had their episode order, their season order, cut in half this week.
Yes, they did. Yes,
And a lot of their production staff was laid off due to it.
not just Craig of the Creek. Overall, Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, ton of staff was laid off. We do not have the full details or numbers. We just know crap ton because people in the industry are tweeting saying people lost their jobs. We don't know the severity of this. We just know it's bad. This is real quick. This is bad for Craig of the Creek. It sucks. Craig of the Creek's a great show. Doesn't deserve it. Deserves multiple episodes. It's one of the only new cartoons that they've been pushing lately, and giving the spin-off series Jessica as well. Having their episode orders cut in half is never cool. Just really shitty. Really shitty. Very upset about it.
Someone,
But I'm also more upset about all the layoffs
Yeah.
that have happened at Cartoon Network and Adult Swim this week. They happened on Friday, right before the weekend. Tons of people lost their jobs. Earlier, same week, Cartoon Network just celebrated its 30th anniversary. And now they are laying off this wide amount of staff. I can't say that, and we're all surprised. We knew Zaslav had no interest in animated programming. So the fear that's going around right now is that Cartoon Network will remain a channel, but the studio itself will be shuttered completely and consumed into Warner Animation. So no new Cartoon Network shows. It will just essentially be Boomerang, but for a newer generation. And nothing new will be made for it.
it's a shame.
We don't know that. That's the fear.
The writing on the wall.
That would be a shame. There was
Thank
a
you.
report that came out that said supposedly a lot of this Cartoon Network layoffs were due to Zaslav wanting to focus more on Adult Swim rather than the Cartoon Network, whatever that means, because he also laid off a bunch of people from Adult Swim. So, I don't know.
He doesn't believe in family programmings, especially of the animated nature. Doesn't believe in it. Just doesn't believe in investing in it.
Oh, I'm sorry, but remind me again who the mascot of Warner Brothers is. Oh yeah, a cartoon rabbit.
He doesn't know that.
Someone put it really well, talking about it on Twitter, that they were like, it's very jarring and sad to have felt all this 30th anniversary build-up stuff with Cartoon Network. Things where people are sharing like the day the channel launched and all kinds of great stuff around, and it's felt like the swan song. It's felt like people know that the end is coming. I really hope that's not true. Cartoon Network is, I think, extraordinary and very important to our culture, but Zaslav sucks. So
It's true. Every day.
I mean, I didn't even know that this was Cartoon Network's 30th anniversary, and the fact that this channel and this network has been around for this long, and it has such a pedigree of amazing animated shows that people to this day still talk about and still absolutely adore. This is a slap in the face. This is absolutely just like, these people came together. They made something amazing. We have had some of the best and some of the greatest shows come out of that network over the past 30 years. And now all of a sudden you're doing this? Good God, I hate Zaslav. I thought I couldn't hate Zaslav more. Now I do.
No, it's like again, like we said it before, but like he's just a dude. Like he doesn't view any of this as art. He views it as a spreadsheet. And if the spreadsheet is low, then he doesn't make money and he doesn't care about it. And that's
I know Warner Brothers is a movie studio. They've made films before, but I will still die in the hell that Bugs Bunny helped made the Warner brand. Those Looney Tunes cartoons helped made Warner Brothers to what it is today.
yeah.
I don't know. Yakko, Wacko, and Dot live in the water tower. I don't know. I think they've done more.
The Animaniac show and something else are completely safe because the licensing isn't actually owned by Zaslav. So he can't do anything with it right now. But everything else is kind of on thin ice, on the chopping block. I don't know, guys. I'm very disheartened. My biggest thing, like been a strong proponent the entire time of this podcast that like Cartoon Network is making some of the most progressive children's media out there. that they are,
And that's probably why.
that they are pushing the paradigm. Sadly, I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Sadly, I don't think that's the reason. I think the reason is just he doesn't give a shit about cartoons.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I think it stops there. I don't think he's even looked into these things to see how progressive they're being.
Yeah.
I don't think he gives a shit.
Yeah.
That's honestly not it. I don't think that has been factored in at all. I think he truly just doesn't care about any of it.
Yeah.
Any of it. So I don't have a lot of hope for the near future of Cartoon Network and cartoons out of Warner.
All right, Sparks. I know what we should do. Let's boot up the old animation station studio and let's get cracking. Let's bring.
Boy, let me tell you, I will be talking a lot about these cartoons if they get all swept under the rug. I will. I mean, because it's just terrible.
They haven't said that they're canceled, but if their orders are cut in half, that probably means they're probably gonna get canceled.
Craig of the Creek and Jessica's show are probably writing on the wall, going away.
Probably getting canceled.
Yeah.
And once this happens, it's only a matter of time before HBO Max and there's just scrubbed from the internet.
Again, this is one of those things where the reason why there's a lot of people believe that it is just going down to just being a channel and they will shutter Cartoon Network Studios is because the only new shows that have any episodes still in production, like ordered in advance, there are ones that they are finishing touches on. Like we talked about, the Summer Camp Island gets to finish their season. Victor and Valentino is finishing its season.
Too far along, yeah.
Because they're near the end of their production run. But the ones that still have new episodes coming out are We Baby Bears. They're still cleared to go for the moment. Craig of the Creek and Jessica's show, those two, now with their episode order cut, they're still the new shows in production. And Teen Titans Go. That's it. That is it. They have not greenlit any other new cartoons for a while, so it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Cartoon Network. It was great. Well, it lasted, unfortunately.
A new Doom Patrol trailer came out this week. I don't think any of us watched it, but it is
I'm
nice.
behind.
It is just nice. I just want to point out it reveals a December release date, and it's nice to know that show is coming back soon.
Hell yeah. That's nice.
Cool. New York Comic Con.
A Titans trailer came out, and I did see a clip from it, and I was like, "Man, I'm glad I'm not watching that anymore."
New York Comic Con happened this week, guys.
It's time to get juicy, baby. Lots of good stuff.
Let's talk about some comic books.
All right, guys, you guys can go away. This is about me now.
All right, Ryan.
Okay,
you got the list in front of you? No, okay. The list is your shirt?
No.
Oh, you're disappearing.
I was listening to this here.
Rogue and Gambit was announced as a limited series from Stephanie Phillips and Carlos Gomez.
There's no information on it?
No, so I couldn't find. They said information about the plot will be coming soon. They did not say what the plot was.
Oh, I think, yeah, because the stuff's happening next year. So I think it's just like, hey, here's the announcements and stuff.
Yeah. There was actually 3 of those. So actually, why don't I just run through those real quickly?
Yeah.
Because there's no other information other than they're coming and the teams. X-23 Deadly Regenesis will be written by Eric Schultz with art by Edgar Salazar. This is a 5-issue miniseries. And then Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain. Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain, will be written by Teenie Howard and with art by Vasco Georgiev, and that's an ongoing.
Yes. Makes sense. People are really worried. Teenie Howard has been the magical otherworld queen for the X-Men for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So people are scared that, like, oh man, she's done so much work with Betsy Braddock. I really hope that, like, she's not done after Knights of X was canceled. And she's not. She's getting her own another ongoing, which is great because you don't want to cancel books led by women if they're selling well and they're good, because it's just a bad precedent. And she has never been more popular and present as Captain Britain than right now. So like the fact that they're not shying away from it and they're staying with it, especially to the haters who don't like her as Captain Britain, it makes me really happy. I'm thrilled. Super thrilled.
Oh, yeah,
X-23, is that a... Sorry, Beck, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I kept buying Excalibur because of Betsy Braddock. I love her. I love her a lot. And I really enjoy her. And I have a big ass stack behind me and another bigger stack in my room. But I'm glad she's getting an ongoing. So, yay.
The X-23 one was interesting because could indicate being a prequel comic.
It is a prequel. It is a prequel.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The implications seem to be that they're going to readjust her origin, so it's not as scientifically gross and they're going to try to. I think what I think they're going to do, especially because they're using the term Deadly Genesis. Deadly Genesis is an X-Men phrase that's been used over and over again. I think they're going to try to tie her. It's either going to make her more tied to Wolverine or less tied to Wolverine, because she's already really tied to him as like she's like his biological daughter through cloning. So they can either go further than that.
She's still currently Wolverine.
She is Wolverine, yes. So that's why people were freaking out, because like if she's Wolverine, are you going to turn her back into X-23, like her slave name basically? Like she shouldn't be X-23. That's the thing. So it is a prequel. Why it's a prequel, no one really knows. But if it's about her origin, making it a little more modern, then good.
Mm-hmm.
Or a little more adaptable to an MCU.
That's the real answer.
Or a little more adaptable to an MCU.
We'll talk. That's the news later. 100%. Yeah.
Bloodline Daughter of Blade. It's finally here. The 5-issue limited series will be written by Danny Lore.
Who wrote that Transformers comic you like?
With art by Karen S. Darbo, which will focus on a young Braille Brooks as she tries to adjust to life at school while also developing vampire powers and learning the truth about the identity of her father, the Daywalker, known as Blade.
Yeah,
that's cool.
This is almost 10 years in the making. Tim Seeley did an announcement saying, "Who's the daughter of Blade?" And then we never found out. Because that book got canceled. So like this again, talking about the MCU, rumors about what that Blade movie's about. This makes sense. Totally makes sense. This should have happened a long time ago. I'm really excited. I'm glad Blade, he's back in the MCU. Like he's part of the Avengers. He has been for years. It's really cool.
I really liked the premise when the announcement I was really excited for the announcement when Tim Seeley first put that out there years ago. So I'm really happy to finally see this concept come to fruition, because I've never forgotten it and I've always wanted them to do it, honestly, just to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably all talk about Danny Lore in the near future, because we'll definitely be doing that Shatterglass.
Yeah.
Really like that Transformers story.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Silver.
exciting.
Sorry, not that one yet. Bishop, War College, will be written by Jay Holtham, who was a writer on Cloak and Dagger and Jessica Jones, the TV shows.
Ooh,
with art by Sean Damian Hill. Again, a 5-issue miniseries. I'm going to read exactly what it wrote because I can't say it better, and it's short. Armor, Surge, Cam Long, Aura Charles, Amass. These are his students. Their course objective: get strong, defend the island, keep mutant kind safe. Their first lesson: how to fail. And they'll do it in spectacular Marvel fashion. So
Ben, did you see the cover by any chance? Okay, this cover is interesting because it's you know Bishop from the X-Men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Bishop.
He's a black gentleman.
Oh, yeah, I love Bishop.
It features the entire X-Men, but they're all black.
Ooh.
So that's why the internet is currently going, what is the story about? People are worried that it's just going to be, we're going to write an X-Men story, but they're all black, like that Miles Morales story that just came out. That was written by a white guy, and that's shitty. This is written by a black person. It's also, now we know it is a callback to a flashback story where Bishop, as a child, envisioned what the X-Men would be when he grew up, as people as him. So it is going to be it's going to be a weird flashback, but like real life, like future story about the X-Men are black. And that's fantastic. I have no, it's an interesting premise. It's like, this is his idealized, because he grew up in the future without the X-Men. So this is his version of the X-Men. So I don't know if it's a real, like a quote unquote, like canon story, or if it's just a fun Elseworld story. We don't really know. But I think this idea is really cool. And having a black creative team just makes me believe in the project more than something like that Miles Morales project.
Y'all, that Cloak and Dagger.
That's a good show.
It's lit.
Yeah, that show, and it's heavy. It's a heavy show. So like this one's gonna be. So is Jessica Jones. Winners, baby.
Yeah. It seems due to the announcement, this is canon to the Krakoan era.
Yeah.
So it's not an Elseworlds, but yeah, interesting.
It would be interesting how it is canon is what I mean, because how do you have a black Cyclops that we didn't know about before?
Well, I think it's what you're saying, that we could be flashing back to when he was a kid, envisioning what the X-Men were in those adventures, while also having how that flashback is influencing his present, training these new generation of X-Men.
whose failure is the important failure in this story.
I see.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. Silver Surfer Ghost Light.
Woo!
Written by John Jennings with art by Valentine Delandro, who was the artist on Bitch Planet. Another 5-issue limited series. This is what the quick synopsis says. Tony Brooks and her family have moved into the quiet town of Sweetwater, but nothing is quite what it seems with their new home. What mystery did Tony and her family unravel that would call upon the sentinel of the spaceways, the Silver Surfer? And just who or what is Ghostlight?
Yeah, so Ghostlight looks to be a new, cool Silver Surfer-esque character. Some new cosmic being. And I'm like, I love the Silver Surfer. Expanding the cosmic world. I'm about it. Boo! It's a
There's your
boo.
Ghostlight right there.
Oh boy!
Oh, you're good.
Audio listeners, I have a boo light from Super Mario, and it's also a light. So, I mean, you can't really see on the video, but it does light up.
That's cute. All right, I'll allow it.
I warned you.
That was
What do you
cute.
mean you warned me? You didn't do anything.
You
I think
pointed
it's
at the
cool.
thing, and I was like, "Don't do it."
Oh, I'm doing it all right. You say Ghostlight. I got a Ghostlight right here.
See, this is why you need to be the audio listeners. You need the visual component because, like, we're
Yeah.
Moon Knight, Black and White, Werewolf by Night right now. We got Goose and Goblins. We got everything.
Linked in the description, audio listeners, if you want to just pop in and watch the video.
Pop it.
Marvel Voices Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
The next
Mhm.
Marvel Voices will be out in February, just in time for Black History Month. And it will be celebrating and expanding the world of Wakanda. Creative teams to be announced soon.
There have been a lot of Black Panther Wakanda books coming out the last couple of years. So like more is always okay. It's always great.
Yeah.
And then we got a lot of news on Sins of Sinister. We are the next X-Men event, Sins of Sinister, will begin with a giant-sized one-shot written by Kieran Gillen with art by Lucas Wernick.
Lucas Wernick he draws like Pepe Larraz might be like the best like artist, but Lucas Wernick draws the sexiest comic book characters put to the page. That dude draws the hottest people. It's insane.
This will start with the one shot and then interweave through 3 different tie-in titles. Immortal X-Men, X-Men Red, and Legion of X will be replaced for 3 months, for 3 issues, I should say more accurately, with Immoral X-Men, Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, and Nightcrawlers. Replace it 1-to-1.
Oh,
Kieran Gillen.
wait, was it Immoral or Immortal?
No, the book is immortal. It's becoming immoral. For Sinister's event. Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. I was looking at the wrong thing. That's cool. I like that.
Kieran Gillen, Al Ewing, and Cy Spurrier will remain on these books. So they are taking over the Sins of Sinister tie-in that they would normally have written. And will be joined by Paco Medina, Patch Zurcher, and Alessandro Vitti, who will each draw 1 issue of each book.
Right now, I'm behind, but the comics are coming next week to catch me up. But right now, Judgment Day, the Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals event, is like the best event. Like they're saying, it's like it's better than Secret Wars, and I can't believe you because Secret Wars is the best event Marvel's ever put out.
Mm-hmm.
But the hype on this comic is so insane that they're like, Kieran, you can do the next one too. Don't worry about it. Kieran Gillen has written like okay, real quick. The X tie-ins, like most, when you have like a big comic book event, you have a bunch of different tie-ins, a bunch of different people write them. Kieran Gillen has written like 30 comics himself for this event. This is like his event, and that's why it's so good because he has such a full grasp of it. Instead of handing it off to 30 other people, you have to communicate with so many people. Having Al Ewing and Kieran Gillen on an event that's another banger, like I'm feasting, you guys. I can't. And Sinister, when you guys eventually catch up, you're years behind. But when you do catch up, man, Sinister is doing wacky shit. I'm so excited.
Tackling
bangers.
real quickly the plot. We now know kind of a synopsis of what this event is. Tackling 3 separate time periods. Each superstar artist will draw an issue of all 3 titles as consecutive issues propel the Marvel Universe further and further into a dark future, dramatically escalating the stakes with each startling time jump 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. The powers of Essex will seek to stretch beyond the limits of time and space.
Yes, I mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but you guys are so behind. I don't mind saying this again. Sinister has Moira dead body clones, so he is able to reset the timeline to fix his reality the way he sees fit. So he is reconstructing reality to make him the ultimate man, and it's about to be an age of apocalypse for Mr. Sinister. And I'm just, God, it's so good. Kieran Gillen is the master. Thrilled.
This is what excited me. This is all exciting, but this is what I was really happy to hear. All 3 writers will continue their current story plans after the X Universe Shadowing finale one-shot, Sins of Sinister Dominion #1. So after these 3 issues, they will be renamed back to the titles they were, and the writers will just continue on. And I'm very happy with that, because all too often Al Ewing specifically gets screwed by events, because he'll write a book, they'll have to have an event tie-in, and then that book is canceled.
I will say, though, Al Ewing's probably the best person at making a really good comic out of a tie-in comic that he's able to make every tie-in issue work, and then they get canceled because no one's buying it. But man, that Al Ewing guy, that Kieran Gillen, they're the best.
Yeah.
And then upcoming events, they posted a thing. It was like, here's what's coming next. It's
the
all
Kevin
events.
Feige influences here.
Yeah, it's all events that we've seen before. Some happening, some gonna happen soon. Except for the last 2, which were Summer of Symbiotes and Fall of X.
It's spoiler alert: the Fall of X is not the fall of the X-Men. They've already said this. It's not the actual end of Cone era, but it is they've been winning for so long. What happens when they finally lose is the slogan. They've obviously, it's a comic book. They have enemies, but they have not really had a downfall yet, because every event that they've had, they've won.
Right.
So we are going to see the first they say, what happens when all the villains just are full of it, and they're like, we don't want to deal with this anymore. It sucks, and they just team up. So I got the X-Men tattoo. I'm here for
it. I'm happy they're finally doing Fox. The Fox era.
The Fox era is back, baby.
DC.
Oh, real quick, they also said that Groot's dying, so get ready for that.
Oh yeah, they teased so I didn't put this one in there, but since you brought it up, the Guardians of the Galaxy teased. They didn't say anything about it. There was no announcement or anything. It was just a tease that they got to put the family up together again, and supposedly Groot might be dying.
After what happens after somebody is, and it's like a broken thing. Hey man, every once in a while someone's got to die, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though he's a
DC.
tree.
Right now it's Doctor Strange. Next is Groot.
Oh, he's already back.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
But he was the last one to be killed.
He was the last one to be killed. Hi, Gail. Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, if you want to pull that up, Ben.
We're a live show.
Yeah, dig it. In Alabama, good lord.
I got family in Alabama. Hi, Gail.
Okay.
Famabama.
Hey, we got the what's it called? The rewind.
Mm-hmm.
We got an hour rewind you can watch later, Gail. Don't worry. We're always here.
So DC Comics.
Ditch ya.
All right.
DC Universe Infinite Ultra.
Oh, we're freaking out.
We are.
Ben.
Yeah.
Are you with me, or did I lose them?
No, we're here.
Are they here?
We're here.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, they're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We lost you there for a second. DC Universe Infinite Ultra will be a new tier launching October 10th, so tomorrow. It's going to be a higher tier than what DC Universe Infinite offers already. This will have comics added to the app 1 month after they're published.
Oh,
After they're published.
Oh, shit.
And you'll have access to over 5,000 exclusive titles from Vertigo and DC Black Label. That will be extra to what DC Universe Infinite, the catalog, is there.
Man. Shit. 1 month, huh?
Yeah.
I'm never buying a DC comic ever again. For real. Marvel Limited, it's 3 months, and even then, I've cut my pull list in half for books that I don't mind waiting on.
Right.
I don't have the DC service, DC Universe, because they don't have as many comics, and it's a longer wait for older comics or for newer comics.
Oh, it's 3 months also. It's 3 months also.
Oh, they changed it. Okay, that's right. They changed 3 months. That's good. 1 month is very spicy. That's got to be expensive. Oof.
I only saw the year price, which was $99.
That's not that expensive to get comics the next month. Farts.
Yeah.
That's a good model. That's a really good model. especially for people who can't get to a comic shop or we're still in a pandemic. That's really good.
For people who are running out of space.
I don't need to buy more comics, but I'm going to. And at the end of the day, I'm just here to read this. I want to read a good story, so that's why I love Marvel Unlimited. So if it's cheap enough, I don't like doing yearly plans just because I don't like spending that much money at once at a time. So if it's Marvel Unlimited's $10, if this is $15 a month, I will buy it 100%.
Yeah.
To read the next month's comic? Are you kidding me? I will never have. That's incredible news, man.
It's pretty crazy that they announced this. Also, this is not just DC Universe Infinite Ultra. This is both tiers, the 3-month and the 1-month tier. Graphic novels and select Mad Magazine issues will be starting to roll out onto the service as well. So you won't just have to read the issues. Now you can just pick. Now you can find a graphic novel on the service.
That's really great.
That is really good.
That's awesome. I don't read as many DC comics as I want to. So this will legitimately give me a really no excuse not to keep up. That's really exciting. I love that news.
All right. Now some comic book announcements. Multiversity, Harley screws up the DCU. It's going to be a 6-issue miniseries with art by Frank Thierry and written by Frank Thierry with art by Logan Faber.
That's good. That's an alright creative team. Okay.
We'll see Harley inherit a time machine on Coney Island, but when she gets back to the present, Starro rules the entire world, and all of DC's heroes don't exist.
You said multiversity.
Yeah.
Are they bringing that back?
So they've already done it. They did the Multiversity Team Justice, which was I believe it wasn't a tie to the Dark Crisis, but it kind of came out around Dark Crisis. It came out during Pride Month. But they brought back a kind of a multiversity label to have multiverse comic books, and I think that this is another one. I think this is kind of the proof in the pudding that they're going to start using this.
I mean, if there's another way of doing an Elseworld story, that's totally fine. Cool.
Yeah. And it kind of sounds fun. She has to go back in time and fix the timeline. Ben, don't pull it up, but Gail, real quickly, we'll be talking about Werewolf by Night a little later in the evening. So stay tuned.
That's our main topic.
That's our main course. So good news, you haven't missed it yet.
Action Comics.
Oh baby, we're all gonna pick Action Comics up.
Number 1051 will be a new launching point. The series will now transition into a super family book, which will have 3 stories in every issue by a rotating creative team, beginning with Philip Kennedy Johnson, who has been writing it before, Dan Jurgens and Leah Williams, Rafa Sandoval as well. Oh, this is horribly written. I'm so sorry. Lee Weeks and Margaret Savage. Those are the last names on that.
Those are the last 3 are artists.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Great stuff. I love comics. I'll read all this stuff.
Power Girl will also be making a return in the Leah Williams issue.
Yeah,
story.
I now need to catch up because now that it's coming, not to an end, but the art's coming to an end. The Philip Kennedy Johnson War World. It's been one entire saga that he's been running for a long time now, and people are saying it's incredible. Seriously, some of the best modern Superman that we've had since Rebirth and New 52. And I'm glad he's still on the book because people really like him, and DC seems to really like him.
Bendis who?
Listen, I'm a super family guy, and I love Bendis for taking a swing with John. I love that John is a Superman. Tom Taylor writes a better John can.
I still get flashbacks about how hyped we were when Bendis made the jump from Marvel to DC and he was writing Superman. We were all hyped.
Otherwise.
Yeah, I was buying I was buying action comics. I was buying all the Superman Bendis books on the regular back for a while, and then they just kept falling to the bottom of my pile, and I just stopped buying them because they were fine, they were good, they just weren't great.
I also need to catch up because I saw a picture and there's 10 people in this super family and I don't recognize a couple of them. So there's new kids. I'm who are the kids?
So there's 3 characters that are new and we will be introduced to in the coming months. But otherwise it's the same super family we've known. Connor is getting a big push in this next.
And the Chinese Superman as well.
Yeah, I was really happy to see him in this because he hasn't had a book since the new Superman ages ago, and it's really cool that character just stayed around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It looks like the Super Family is going to get a very big push to try and kind of get it back to some sort of prominence in the DC Universe publishing line, which I'm happy about.
Oh yeah.
Adventures of Superman: John Kent will be replacing Superman Son of Kal-El, which will be ending at issue 18. I did hear someone said this was a miniseries, but that's not on the official site, so I'm going to say it's an ongoing for now until otherwise stated.
Yeah.
Tom Taylor will continue to write John Kent with Clayton Henry on art. It's going to be a 6. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's ongoing miniseries. Who knows? John Kent, however, this story will be about John Kent going after revenge on Ultraman for Ultraman kidnapped him, and that's how he aged up in the Bendis run. So now John Kent's going to go to Earth 3, take his revenge on Ultraman with Val Zod, Earth 2 Superman.
I did see that as well. Interesting that like they're going to hang out. I'm all about it. Yeah, man. Like it's been a while since I read a Superman comic. I'm even behind on the Tom Taylor Son of Kal-El. Honestly, I'm behind on all my DC books except this Batman. So like it's a nice jumping on point again. I'm really excited. I am thrilled that we're getting not just a Super Family book, but like a Super Family book that has 3 Super Family stories in it every month. I'm really excited.
Val Zod though is pretty cool. I like him. Yeah.
Same thing. I was actually going to say one of my favorite parts about the Earth 2 New 52 run was Power Girl and Val Zod. I love them. And now that Val Zod's still around and still a character of the DCU, I'm like, yay. So
every now and then that Earth 2 specifically gets put into the background of some sort of group shot of like multiverse characters, and I'm always kind of like, oh, I'm glad you guys are still kicking.
We didn't forget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold up real quick from Gail. Gail says, bless you, Ryan. You love your comic art.
Hey man, someone's got it. I got someone's got it.
So the Super Family books don't end there. Superman, there will be a new Superman title, self-titled Superman title launching with Joshua Williamson at the helm this time. He's done with Dark Crisis. Now he's going to do Superman with Jamal Campbell on art. I hope he stays on longer than he did Batman.
I'll be honest, like absolutely no offense to Josh Williamson. He's great. I am definitely more excited for the other books, but Jamal Campbell is an insane artist. He did Green Sector, the Green Lantern book, Far Sector. That book is incredible. It looks so good. So like the art's gonna be here. So I hope it's also good. I'm definitely picking up the Family book first.
Yeah, I really like Joshua Williamson. I've wanted him to stay on a book longer than a couple of issues for a while now. He's kind of been like the guiding force of the current like story arc of the DC universe, and that's like cool and whatever. But like I want him to do a run like he did with Flash. I want him to do something really cool. Yeah, Lois and Clark 2, Doom Rising. This will be a sequel to Dan Jurgens' Lois and Clark. I think it was a 12-issue miniseries.
Oh yeah.
Dan Jurgens will return to write with Lee Weeks on art.
Oh, Lee Weeks.
And it's going to tell the story. It's going to tell the story of a young John Kent on the farm, learning about his abilities, coming of age, and battling the Doom Breaker.
I don't know about the Doom Breaker, but I'm all about young John Kent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm actually really happy at this New York Comic Con with all this DC comic news because it's mostly about Superman and not 1.5 billion Batman books being announced.
That was a really nice change.
It was.
That like, hey, we're gonna really push Superman going forward. And we're like, cool, you should.
I will always die on the hill that I'll die on the hill that saying that Superman is a good character and is definitely a great person to look up to in the comic book world, because people constantly talk about, oh, we need to look up to Batman because Batman's just a normal human being. I'm like, yeah, but what about Superman? Oh, Superman's too OP, Superman's too this, Superman's too blah blah blah, and I'll stop tangenting, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Hey, if you listen to this podcast, you like Superman, and if you don't, you gotta get out. I'm sorry. You gotta go.
Yeah, I don't. I'm really happy. I really like that Lois and Clark Dan Jurgens book. I thought that was really good. That was right after Convergence when they brought back the original universe Superman and Lois with John.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that book. I'm happy to see this story kind of come back, much like I would be if like Patrick Gleason came back to write Super Sons again.
Sparks, you haven't read a Superman book in a while. Does any of this excite you?
In the sense of it existing, yes. In the sense of will I pick it up?
It's Superman though.
Yeah, I just I don't have a lot of money.
No, I get it.
Throw on comics.
No, I
It's
get
pretty
it.
much become like I'm still buying X-Men comics, and it's probably not going to be more than that for a while.
Yeah, but like, get rid of X-Men. You love Superman.
I do love Superman, but I'm not. I'm not caught up.
No,
I'm
yeah.
just not in it.
Well, you don't need to catch up with a #1, baby.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably catch up on some trades when this is a few months in. Or DC Universe Infinite Ultra.
Ultimate
month,
Extra
baby.
online.
All right. This is a short story, but I thought it was kind of cool. Static Beyond. It's going to be a upcoming milestone 30th anniversary short story, which will see an adult Static Shock team up with Terry McGinnis. Written and drawn by Nicholas Draper Ivy, who is is doing Static. He's on Static, the current Static Shock book.
So this is like a short, like a short novella, like
No,
words
it's
only?
a short. It's a short comic.
Oh, okay. Because
So
short story implies like words only.
Yeah, so they'll put out a next year for Milestone's 30th anniversary. They'll put out like a one shot or a collection or something that will have this story in it.
That's very cool. It's a fun, neat idea.
Yeah, I really liked the one episode of Static Beyond and 2 episodes of Justice League Unlimited, where an older Static teamed up with Batman Beyond.
That's right. I remember that.
I thought those were cool. I'm excited for this.
Yeah. For some reason, I was like, this seems like a cool idea that like they haven't done before. No, I've definitely seen that before. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
That Static Shock episode is very good.
Yeah. Phil Lamar, is he involved in that show?
Phil Lamar, Static Shock.
Too many roles, Phil. Come on.
And Jon Stewart.
Yes, that's true.
Lazarus Planet. Spinning out of Batman versus Robin, which itself spun out of World's Finest.
Huh.
Mark Waid will be starting Lazarus Planet. So, and Batman versus Robin #4, a huge volcano filled with the Lazarus pit, not lava, explodes, and the Lazarus particles cover the earth.
I need to read this comic.
I thought that sounded pretty cool as well. Mark Waid will serve as showrunner for the event, so unclear if he's writing any of it. But he's going to be corralling Ricardo Federici, Jean Wen Yang, Billy Tan, Skylar Patridge, Francis Manipul, Dan Waters, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Jose Campbell and Nicole Maines.
Nicole Maines, there you go, Dreamer.
Batman. So it's going to see some new like heroes are going to because Lazarus chemicals, certain heroes are going to evolve. Here's some of the ones that we know. Batman is going to become Dr. Fate. John Kent will gain Superman's blue electricity power from the 90s.
The promo images for these were like a fan's wet dream. Yeah. They were pretty sick images.
And Martian Manhunter will be mentally joined with a nest of Doomsdays that
he controls.
That will kind of make him go berserk.
Yeah, seeing John Kent as Blue Superman, and then Batman with a Dr. Fate helmet. I'm like, this looks dumb. I'm into it. I'm always into silly stuff like that.
I really like this idea. It sounds like a really cool event that I'm surprised hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, just a volcano of Lazarus juices. I love comic books, man. It's so dumb.
So it will comprise entirely of one shots that will come out every week. So starting with Lazarus Planet Alpha, then Lazarus Planet Assault on Krypton, Lazarus Planet We Once Were Gods, Legends Reborn, Next Evolution, Dark Fate, and Omega.
Dark Fate. All right, John Connor.
And that's that.
Cool. So I love. They've been doing it more and more recently, and I wish they do this more often. Like micro events. They're not an event like an Axe Judgment Day that takes up the entire universe. It's like Last Annihilation, like the cosmic event. There were one shots, and there was a couple other one shots, and that's the event. It is not taking up any space. Like this is its own separate universe while still being a big event. Like I just love when comics do that. It's nice.
Last Annihilation was really good.
Yeah, man, Cable's cool. He's a cool guy.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best to quickly get through some of the Star Trek news for you guys. I thought this one was very exciting. a new Star Trek comic. IDW is very confident in what their plans are for their Star Trek line. Makes me very excited. So a new ongoing title was announced during Comic-Con. Star Trek Defiant, written by Christopher Cantwell, with art by Angel Unzueta. Which, Ryan, you told me that Christopher Cantwell is a Star Trek fan, which I didn't know beforehand.
Huge Star Trek fan. Yeah, he says on Twitter, like, yeah, if my dreams write a Star Trek comic, which means he said that recently, which means he's just been like teasing that he's gonna do this probably, which is really cute. Yeah, that dude. I've talked about before. That dude is the best writer about like big ego characters or big characters with like big brains, and the characters that he's writing in this comic, which I saw, that makes sense.
So it's going to see Worf recruit Spock, Rolaren, B'Elanna Torres, and Lore, Data's evil twin brother, to try and stop a genocidal messiah who is rampaging across the galaxy.
Yeah, sounds cool. I probably won't read this, but Chris Cantwell is one of the comics' greatest creators right now. So the fact that and this is an ongoing, you said?
It's ongoing. So Benjamin Sisko, which we announced a little while ago, Benjamin Sisko has a new book. He's coming back from the wormholes, and he's going to find out who's killing all the gods in the galaxy. He's going off. That's causing a lot of collateral damage. So Worf gets in command of the Defiant, and he's going to do like the smaller missions. Cool. I'm very excited for this. They got some really good talent on the Star Trek books, on these two Star Trek books. I really like the character choices. I'm surprised at the just kind of desire to make them canon. They really want these to. They picked a specific moment in the Star Trek timeline where they could be canon, and they're going to play with the future and the past of what's even going on now. I think that's really cool. Mm-hmm. I'm stoked.
Hell yeah!
I haven't been this excited for a Star Trek comic since the Kelvin timeline.
Hell yeah! And what's nice about comic books is unlimited budget. You can make that thing as big, as bombastic, as fun, as trippy as you want. And I won't read this, but Lore being a character in this book is incredibly cool. Yeah, that is a character who I love that character from Next Gen. That is such a fun character, and I would read. I mean, eventually I will, but that is a comic I would read. Evil Lore hanging out with other people trying to save the universe. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Cool. Star Trek Discovery released a trailer, just 50 seconds. It looks smaller scale, it doesn't look smaller scale. It looks huge. Star Trek Discovery always goes huge, always go over dramatic. I've come to terms with what the show Star Trek Discovery is, but it seems to suggest that the stakes aren't universe ending or galaxy ending or whatever. They're a treasure hunt. Like a timed treasure hunt. And I'm so on board if that is the case, because I'm really sick of Discovery trying to solve a galaxy ender problem every season.
Has there been a blue beam in the sky in one of these episodes yet?
Yes.
Oh, I was joking.
Yeah, I remember the episode specifically.
All right. Well, I guess you can't escape modern tropes.
Technically, warp travel is just a blue beam in space.
Don't do that. Don't do this.
All right. The kind of the news that also excited me about Star Trek Discovery was that Callum Keith Rennie, who was the Doctor in Jessica Jones and the old man from Umbrella Academy season 3, Sparks remembers him. He is going to play Captain Rayner, a wartime captain who struggles during peacetime. There's a bit more that they told us about him, but I like him. I'm excited to see him on the show.
What is this season? Season 4? Season 5?
Season 5.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Star Trek Prodigy also released a trailer. A really good trailer. Star Trek Prodigy looks really good when it's coming back. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There's a lot of really awesome footage of hologram Janeway meeting real Janeway, and I'm surprised with how good that show looks, because I like the first half of the season, but that second half got me excited. Mm-hmm. Ronnie Cox is returning to voice Admiral Edward Jellicoe. Star Trek fans will remember him, no doubt, he's the annoying captain who took over the Enterprise. He didn't take over the Enterprise. He was put in command of the Enterprise when Picard was being tortured by the Cardassian. Nobody likes him, so it's kind of funny that he's coming back for this
Not the
show.
Kardashians.
Oh, okay.
No, I saw you. No, yeah, they're similar but different.
I think we made this joke before.
Kardashian.
The Cardassians. Actually, by the actor who died, who was also a Klingon and a human in the Star Trek TOS movies. Yeah, I'm excited for that show. It looks awesome. Starship Picard season 3 also released a trailer. New York Comic Con was way better than Star Trek Day.
That's a bummer.
I just want to point that out there. Star Trek Day sucked. This was fantastic. This is a good time to be a Star Trek fan, guys.
Good.
Even if all the shows aren't hitting, at least they're there and they're good. All right, Star Trek Picard, the season 3 trailer. There's a lot of really cool stuff in the season 3 trailer. We learned that the hologram of James Moriarty is somehow returning. We learned that Brent Spiner is coming back as Lore, playing the third character he's played in the series so far. It's been
James Moriarty, he's to do with the top hat and the old-timey gun, right?
yes.
Okay, yeah, all right. Because I was curious, because I actually saw the trailer just purely by accident. I'm like, I'm just going to watch this through. And I was like, ooh, Brian's really excited. And then I see him. I'm like, who's this guy? What's this all about? I had no clue what that was.
A sentient hologram.
I really like this trailer. It feels very adventurous. It feels very much like when Terry Matalas was put in charge of the show in season 3, he said the reason why they're coming back is because they never got there, the Undiscovered Country. Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, is a brilliant movie and a faithful farewell to the original series cast, the Kirk and crew cast members, because they were moving to the next gen movies. The next gen cast never had that because Nemesis wasn't supposed to be that, and it's not even that good. And Nemesis had to kind of be rejiggered to be that. So Matalas said, I want to give them that. So that's what season 10 is. It is the Undiscovered Country. And nowhere did I believe that he nailed that feeling more than in this trailer, because I truly thought this trailer really, it promises a great show. And I have faith in Matalas. I've heard nothing but great things about 12 Monkeys, even though I haven't seen the show myself. We get a lot more action. We get a lot more like Titan A action. Man, that Titan A is beautiful. I've fallen in love with this ship. We get a blink and you miss it shot of the Enterprise F, which is being brought into canon from the Star Trek Online game.
I played that.
I just think that's really cool. And then the villain is played by Amanda Plummer. Going back to the Undiscovered Country parallel, Christopher Plummer was the villain in the Undiscovered Country. It is amazing. And it looks like Amanda Plummer is playing just as charismatic of a villain for the Next Generation crew. It is perfect synergy. It is a stroke of genius. I am so excited.
Oh yeah.
It feels in many ways like they just should have made this season the whole time, and I don't know what they were doing with the first 2 seasons of Picard, since they apparently don't give a shit about anything they did in those first 2 seasons this season.
Do you think maybe they worried about leaning too hard into nostalgia and stuff, which is they are doing more of that in these seasons than season 1, like more characters and like repurposing stuff from the older show? Do you think that didn't work out? So no, we got to do that, and it ended up working out.
So Star Trek Picard has a really troubled production, but nobody quite knows why, because no one's come out and said here's why. But Michael Chabon was the showrunner for the first season, and he and Patrick Stewart and Alex Kurtzman and Akiva Goldsman crafted a story about that was more cerebral and really if you haven't seen Next Generation, if you don't even like Next Generation, Picard is the show for you. And so it was just kind of like they wanted to do something and it didn't really work because there were too many cooks in the kitchen. Michael Chabon signed a contract to develop more shows for Paramount Plus, more Star Trek shows for Paramount Plus. None of them have happened, but he had to leave as showrunner. Akiva Goldsman came on board, and then halfway through production, Terry Matalas came on board because Akiva Goldsman was working on Strange New Worlds, and he couldn't divide his time. So that season ended up being really wild and good and had really great written episodes, and then just a really shitty middle that really dragged down the season because halfway through the current showrunner just didn't know what the hell was going on. And now season 3 is just Terry Matalas. From the very beginning, Terry Matalas was just the season 3 showrunner, and it feels very much like they were like, that just sucked. That just didn't work at all. Let's do what we always should have done.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm glad.
Which is just the Next Generation 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you get it at all.
Yeah.
Me too. It
does feel a little like, so what was the point of seasons 1 and 2 of Picard?
I will say season 2 brings back Q in a great way, and I was happy to have it.
Sure.
But you could have done it in this season too. All right. So real quick, Amanda Plummer will play Vatic, the captain of the Shrike. Micah Burton and Ashley Sharp Chestnut have been revealed to be playing 2 of Geordie LaForge's 3 daughters.
I know Mika Burton. She's a big old nerd lady.
Mika Burton is also LeVar Burton's daughter, so
Yep.
she is playing the real life daughter of the actor is playing the daughter of the character.
That's fun, and she's actually good, so that works out. That's nice.
Yeah, sorry, Idris Elba. It doesn't always work out.
I'll get it on until I die.
Idris Elba had his daughter audition for Beast, and they didn't cast her because they didn't have chemistry.
Oh, that's right. Daughter can't act, bro.
Trailers. His Dark Materials. Season 3.
Are they still dark?
Yeah, they're pretty
Are
dark.
there some materials?
No materials.
Oh, what?
That's season 4.
So season 3 is going to adapt the 3rd and final book of the His Dark Materials franchise. It starts with the Golden Compass, and then the Silver Knife, I think is the title, and then I don't.
And then the Glass Onion.
Remember I don't remember the title for the 3rd book. Daphne Keane. I really like His Dark Materials. I think it's a really great show. I think Daphne King is amazing in it. I like her just in general ever since Logan. Lot of action in this, a lot of really awesome visuals. The polar bear comes back. A reveal about a character that I was so happy to see. Lot more James McAvoy this season, it looks like. The last season.
Oh, he's still in it?
Yeah,
Cool.
he's Daphne King's father, we think. We're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually Daniel Craig's character from the movie, if you guys remember the movie.
I just assumed for some reason like he's like a big star, like he would be gone after season 1, but like that's awesome. He's still there.
So in season 1, he's only in 3 episodes. In season 2, he's only in 1 episode.
Oh.
And it looks like he's in a lot of episodes this season.
Cool. Right on.
It makes sense. His character is huge, is big in the 3rd book. So he's not in the first 2 books a lot. So I think that's why James McAvoy liked the role, because he could really take it easy until he had to be a big role.
Yeah.
All right, The Dragon Prince Mystery of Aravos. Ben, you watched this.
Oh, hell yeah, watch this.
Looks really great.
Dude, now that we actually had a real trailer, not to say that I didn't like the teaser trailer that we got last time or a month or so ago, this was a real trailer, and it does look great. 2 years have gone by since that last big battle, and I love a time jump. We get to see where our characters are. I'm excited. I cannot wait.
I'm so happy to see these characters back. I really like this.
Hi, Mag. Hi, Mag.
Oh, hi, Mag. Mag says, bellow like a minion.
Hello.
Yeah, I really like The Dragon Prince. I was really pleasantly surprised by it when I finally sat down and watched the first 3 seasons.
I'm so glad you did.
This looks really great. I love seeing all the characters their deaf aunt. This was insulting. I'm so sorry. Their deaf aunt. I do this
Animated.
a lot.
No, you're fine.
So animated. And the Dragon Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, the dragon looks awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I'm
Question.
excited. Yeah.
Has the animation gotten better since season 1? Since I've never watched it, or is it about the same? To be honest, you can tell me it's the same.
It's gotten more fluid.
More fluid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It definitely had a clunkiness in the beginning, but as they got more money, they were able to kind of smooth it out.
Yeah.
But it is still the same. Like it is still the same animation style, so it's that kind of 3D color.
No, yeah. I just remember not loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot wait for November 3rd. I'm definitely gonna probably binge this in one night. I have been waiting for more Dragon Prince, and here it is. And I just cannot wait to see what happened to. Oh, I need to rewatch the other seasons because I forgot most of the characters' names except for Rayla.
Well, I don't blame you. It has been 4 years since the third season dropped.
It's been 4 years.
Yes.
It's been 4 years since y'all last talked about a Dragon Prince thing.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So yeah, exciting.
That doesn't feel right.
That doesn't feel right. Crazy.
If someone wants to check my work on that one, they're welcome to.
I don't watch the show. I believe it though.
It's been a long time. It's been a very long time.
Pandemic, yeah.
Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches.
The Anne Rice cinematic universe begins now.
It is expanding.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. I'm hearing great things about Interview with the Vampire, and I love those trailers. I thought this trailer was fine. I like Alexander Daddario fine. This doesn't have the same visual flair that the Interview with the Vampire series seems to have.
It's like some parts do and some parts don't.
But it is also more modern, so like it looks less less old school. I probably won't watch this, to be honest, unless I hear like really great things, because I got to watch Interview first, and I'm still behind on that too. But it's cool that they're really diving into Anne Rice. Like that's really great.
I'm kind of with you. I really liked the Interview with the Vampire trailers. I liked, as Sparks said, the visuals are there in a couple of places that I really like how they do it. Like there's the dude that just like appears in front of the wall and it like starts to, like he looks like part of the wall and then he just kind of appears.
Yeah.
There's kind of like the turning wallpaper. There's the guy turns like holds the fence and like this portal of the past opens. I thought all that looked really interesting, but it's kind of spread out for me to really get that invested of it. It's been 3 years since the Dragon Prince, almost exactly to the date.
Hot dog.
That feels right, but still, it's been a long time.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm just glad. Yeah, again, I'm glad that like they didn't even wait for Interview to come out and to be successful. Like, no, we're just going to continue to go forward, which is cool.
Anyone else want to say anything about Mayfair Witches, or move on? All right, then Velma.
Oh, I really don't want to go first. I want to hear what the number one Scooby-Doo fan has to say. Ben?
Oh, fuck off. God damn it.
Bringing it back.
This time was Scooby-Doo and not Stephen King. Good God.
You own, like, I think you own more Scooby-Doo home media than I do, Ben.
That's bullshit. You gave it to me.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. You own more.
Oh, son of a bitch. I still have those DVDs, by the way. They're still in the lunchbox, by the way. That you gave me.
Genuinely, I really do want to hear what everyone else has to say before I talk about it.
I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you. I honestly, to God, I have no clue what I really feel, how I feel about this. I'm like, cool, Velma gets her own show. Neat.
There's not a lot to say from the teaser. We'll start there.
Yeah. The thing, I am always someone who I will always give something a chance. I'm always cool with a fresh, cool idea. This specific idea and the way it's being presented to me and everything I've heard from behind the scenes, how like there's no Scooby-Doo, which is fine, I guess. It just looks like they're trying to like adultify Scooby-Doo, but they're not really. They're keeping horror elements, but not Scooby-Doo elements. I didn't feel like this was Scooby-Doo at all.
I kind of looked at this. I don't understand, because there's the reveal that Fred, Daphne, and Shaggy are in the show. They reveal the voice cast when this trailer dropped. I don't understand what happened, because if this was because when this was announced, it's a Velma origin story. It's going to be about Velma. Cool. But it seems like it's actually just a Mystery Inc.
I think it's like it's a secret origin of the Mystery Inc.
I would be more okay with this if it was just like, I would be more okay with some of the things that they're saying behind the scenes if this was just Velma, if there was no one else in the show. But since there is, I'm kind of like, if you could have just made a Scooby-Doo show.
If I hate to because this is what a lot of adult animation has become. If they wanted to do like the Rick and Morty thing, but like keep all the traditional elements and just turn it adult, I'd probably be more on board. Because if you're gonna do something, like keep all the elements that it's called Scooby-Doo. It's just like, is Velma a teenager?
Yes,
this?
in
Yes.
the show,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
They're all teenagers in this.
Yeah.
They're in high school.
I just
They
need,
said so. I'll finish your thought,
I
please,
just
and then
need-
I'll jump in.
I just need to see more. This first like a 1 minute clip. It's very meta. It's very we know we're making fun of a thing like, oh, the Jetsons is doing, like, I get what you're doing. I didn't find it funny.
Neither did I.
Y'all know Riverdale.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
know Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the primary influences of this show,
Mhm.
as voiced by Mindy Kaling and the other person who's show running and writing, who I can't remember.
Okay.
But they did an interview that I watched where they were talking about their intentions with the show and things like that, and that they're very much trying to go for more of the voice cast was revealed than just the Mystery Inc. gang. We learned like people are playing people's parents, so it's very much steeped in like the high school environment. So like Fred's parents are in this, Daphne's parents are in this, Velma's parents are in this, and they're going for Riverdale very, very directly. Like they're going for doing a Riverdale with Scooby-Doo. And my thing really comes down to Mindy Kaling, to her credit, did talk about like how she liked Scooby-Doo when she was growing up, and I'm sure that's true. But like, to me, everything I've heard about, everything I've seen presented about the show from the moment that it was announced has felt like wanting to use the IP of Scooby-Doo, but not really caring about who likes Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Or like what people like about Scooby-Doo. And it kind of feels like there's room to change these characters. There's room to mess with them. Scooby-Doo shows have reinvented their personalities time and time again. That's happened. But at a certain point, you're not making a Scooby-Doo show. This honestly to me feels like a SNL style parody of Scooby-Doo, being given its own animated show, and I don't care. I have no qualms with changing the race or anything of these characters. That's not the issue. The issue is for me entirely about there's just nothing necessarily I'm hearing about that. It's not even about this teaser, it's just everything they're saying about the show that makes me feel like, as a Scooby-Doo fan, that I want to watch it. It doesn't feel like it's for me, if I'm being blunt about it. It just doesn't feel like it's for me. It feels like it's for an audience that is tertiarily aware of Scooby-Doo.
The other writer, Charlie Grandy, worked on The Office. He worked on the Mindy Project, Four Weddings and a Funeral, Six Lives of College Girls.
So it's him who was talking with Mindy, and they were both saying, like, he said something that like really just like sums up to me perfectly, like, I just don't care about this, which is, he's like, one of the things we really wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that we got the origin story of Jinkies, of why Velma says Jinkies. And I'm like, I so don't give a shit about the origin story of why Velma says Jinkies in a show that is not a prequel to Scooby-Doo. It's not a prequel to any version of Scooby. Like, this is not you telling me why Velma says Jinkies in all the other Scooby-Doo programs. This is you telling me why she says Jinkies here. And honestly, in both versions, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Velma says Jinkies. That's all. There's nothing more to that. There doesn't need to be. And the wrong-headedness of that kind of approach just puts me off entirely.
And I'm sure this could be a really good show. Like, Mindy Kaling is a really talented person, and like, she's really funny. So like, there could be a version of the show that is really funny, but it's nothing to do with Scooby-Doo whatsoever. And for some people, that'll be fine. And for, I think, a lot of people, they'll be like, then
that's the thing.
What's the kind of the point?
You and I were kind of talking about this even before the teaser was there, and I was saying that this just doesn't feel like it's made for an audience that keeps up with Scooby-Doo. This feels like it's made for an audience that just is aware of the Scooby-Doo isms.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's
for people who see that Velma's gonna like swear and there's gonna be like gore and boobs, like, oh, I want to see rated R Scooby-Doo.
That's also part of it, is that I'm like, why does it have to be mature? And I think that's the thing right now for me also, is that if you were going to do this, just as you said, Brandon, like, now that they're bringing in the rest of the Mystery Inc. gang, like, why not just make a mature Scooby-Doo show and have Scooby in it? Like, I don't know why we're not doing this.
There's a world where like a rated R mystery show is really cool.
And I think honestly the answer is that there's a sense of like Scooby himself, like if he talks, is too cartoonish for them. So they can't. So they don't want to do it. And like it's too corny, comical for the thing. And I'm like, but that's Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
It's like,
it would be like if in the show, if in the live action movies they used a real Great Dane that didn't talk.
And I think there's room for that. It's just, like everything else still has to be there. Like you have to right. Like if Scooby-Doo, let's say like there's a live action project and Scooby the dog doesn't talk. Shaggy can still impose a personality upon Scoob.
He can
Dogs
interpret
have
everything
personality.
he
He
says.
can interpret Scooby, like not necessarily like like translating Scoob, but like he can interpret Scoob's personality in a way that feels in tone. I just don't think that they're interested in interpreting any of these characters in a way that feels in tone. And I like the people voicing these characters. It doesn't feel like fundamentally it just doesn't feel like it's for me. And I also didn't find the teaser funny or charming or anything. I think actual Scooby-Doo stuff, which there's been a lot going around lately, but like actual Scooby-Doo stuff has done a better job of like someone shared it recently and I really liked it and I retweeted it about the like right after Scream came out, they did a little like gag on Cartoon Network about Scooby-Doo movies, like the new Scooby-Doo movies airing on Cartoon Network, and it's Daphne getting the call from Ghostface, but it's actually Shaggy at the door.
I remember,
and it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I remember that. You showed me
And
that.
like, and like when you're doing stuff like that, I don't know. I don't know who this is.
There was the show because I see Gail's comment. There was like they had the bumpers for like Scooby-Doo marathons or like those Scooby-Doo movies where one of them was like, oh, it was like a documentary format. Oh, how did you all meet? How'd you all meet? How'd you get the mystery van? And it's like, oh, well, first we had my dad drive me around to haunted houses. It's like just they're all crammed in like Daphne's dad's car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Meg's right. There's strong interpretations have been the Mystery Incorporated
James
cartoon and the James Gunn movies.
Yeah, those movies looking better and better every day. Not that they weren't bad.
No, I like those
They were
movies.
good.
Yeah, I like
I've recently had both on in the background while I was packing.
Oh, yeah.
So Gail's comment: "Who wants parents in the Scooby Gang?" That's why Scooby was fun as a kid. Are they? Do we see the Scooby Gang's parents in the show where they're all kids when they're all like
in a pup named Scooby-Doo?
That's my favorite Scooby-Doo show.
A pup named Scooby-Doo.
In a pup named Scooby-Doo, I'm pretty sure it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure when we see adults, it's very much in a like they don't go wah wah wah, but it's in a Charlie Brown way where you don't see their faces.
Yeah, it's 100% like Charlie Brown. Yeah.
It's
I
kind of
remember
like
that show. I remember liking that show.
it's like where you don't see their faces; they only go up to a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very much not the focal point of the show.
Remember when Cow and Chicken's parents were revealed to just be legs?
Actually, from what I remember, very early episodes of Fairly Odd Parents didn't show Timmy Turner's parents.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. It's a very similar thing. Scooby-Doo. I don't think it's a problem necessarily to have it be a very teenager focused show and have their parents present. I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I don't get what they're trying to do with it. That isn't just it's Riverdale with Scooby-Doo, which is really what it's feeling like more and more that they talk about to me is that it's just literally Riverdale with Scooby-Doo characters.
She did, I don't know if it's the same interview, but she mentioned that Velma is like you're going to see the parents and she has a relationship with her dad who is played by I believe like a Muslim actor, and I think like they're gonna lean into like that part of it, and that part like the characterization of like making Velma, not that she's not like 3-dimensional, but like a cultured like full like quote unquote real character, but then it's in this like rated R like poops and butts show. Well, so it's like it's weird.
I think that's the thing is like I agree with the idea of like I want to like the thing that's in this teaser, right, is that she says I'm more 3-dimensional than that. Yeah. And like, yeah, sure, Velma should be a more fleshed out character. But that's also pretending like there aren't Scooby-Doo projects that have already done this.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated is a really great example. Again, thanks, Mag, for bringing it up, because people have noted in there that that's where Velma was initially hinted at to be lesbian. She gets romantically involved with Shaggy and ultimately decides to cut it off because she realizes that's not what she wants because she's not actually attracted to him. And it's more than just not being attracted to Shaggy. That's a whole thing. There are depths to the characters, and there have been depths to the characters in other programs. I don't like that I feel like the only starting point that most of the staff for this show feel like they have is the original series. Mm-hmm. And like these characters have not been developed or nuanced in any way since then.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like, when they, it's weird timing for Velma, right? Because in the same week that Scooby-Doo movie revealed that Velma is a lesbian, it happened 1-2, so it kind of overshadowed the Velma thing, and I'm kind of looking at that going like, well, Velma is a three-dimensional character. She's got
Yeah.
plenty of movies already that are just constantly coming out.
Exactly. That was Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, which is out now. It's the newest one, where Velma was confirmed to be a lesbian. And honestly, like, the people behind that film have said, we are paying off what they were trying to do with Mystery Incorporated, because they were not allowed at the time to flat out say that's what they were doing with Velma. It was the intention, but they couldn't just say it in the show. It was cut. So that has long been a thing they've been trying to get in there. But they're like, Velma has been gay for forever in intention. So it's I don't know who this is for.
What about Wednesday? Do you know what that's for? Who that's for?
Yeah, it's for everybody.
Shit.
It looks so good. It's especially for Ortega fans. Oh my god, that girl's
Dude.
incredible. I can't wait. Wednesday looks exceptional. I'm happy.
I was already excited, but like, man, like, it feels like Tim Burton's back, baby, and he's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna like do my normal gothic thing, like it's not as like Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's still like Tim Burton, which is nice. Like he found like a nice middle ground. And yeah, Jenna Ortega looks so good. I never expected a Fred Armisen Fester really into that. Like, this looks so fun. Like I'm so stoked. They definitely filmed Harry Potter at this place. There's a foyer that the kids definitely. This is the Harry Potter location. Man, I'm stoked. Man, how are you feeling about Wednesday?
Feeling pretty good, honestly. Feeling pretty good. Looks really good.
I wasn't crazy about the first trailer. I didn't really care for what I was seeing there. I really liked this trailer, though. This was the trailer that got me really interested.
Good.
I really like a lot of what they're hinting at, what the plot is, that with the mystery at the Nevermore Academy. I do really like Jenna Ortega's in this role. I think she's really a great fit for it. Yeah, I will definitely check this out.
Yeah, Morticia and Gomez look great. It looks like it is a fun mystery, and like there's like fun puzzles happening with like statues moving, and I'm like,
Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci's back. It's a TV show. Shit, dude.
I'm so happy.
It's a TV show, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm so happy. I think that it's very colorful in the way an Addams Family thing can be colorful.
Mhm.
I really
what
I'm
happens?
really
Like,
wildly happy about
like
it.
she's allergic to the color, like she dies if something.
Yes,
like,
she gets hives and her skin falls off her bone.
Love it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I do want to point out Meg's other comment. Yes, Cartoon Network parodying the Blair Witch Project. That's another one of the things I was thinking of, where they've taken Scooby-Doo and they've been able to be fun.
You also showed me that when we played Blair Witch.
Super good.
That was really
That's very good. I remember that one.
I remember it's the most I've ever been like, okay, but when's the commercial break? Because they were doing it through commercial breaks the night that they aired it on Cartoon Network. And so you'd be watching a cartoon program and then you'd be waiting for the next part of the Blair Witch Scooby-Doo story in the commercial break. And I was like,
That's how they get you.
what happened?
That's how they get you for a whole block.
Yeah, but they had me. I was like, oh no.
All right. I lost my thing. Oni, Thunder God's Tale.
Oni. We just watched this. Oni.
It's the stop motion.
Right. Yeah. This looks good. This looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It felt like it was almost moving too slow. Like there was missing frames. Like it was a little too jerky for me. But like, it still looks
It's
really
like
impressive.
it's a different way of animating.
It definitely is. Yeah. I think it looks really cool, and the idea of like this big mountain village protecting from the Oni. Maybe one of them's an Oni, and like, oh, maybe monsters aren't so bad. Werewolf by night. Looks pretty charming.
I really liked this.
Hell yeah.
I really liked this. I really like the style it's going for. I really like the voice acting. There's a joke that the only way that I can describe it is like this one character has water on his head. This is the umbrella dude. It's
in his head.
It's in his head, and then he like bows, and all the water pours out, and he just dies. I just thought that was really damn funny.
Yeah. I think that was a Kappa that you were talking about, the one with the water in his head.
Sure.
Yeah, this looks adorable. This looks really cute.
Yeah, I really like this. I was really happy I found this trailer.
Hell yeah.
Violent Night.
This is the winner, yo.
This year,
This is the winner.
Christmas is a Die Hard movie.
Son
This is
of
the
a
winner.
bitch! I forgot. I didn't watch this one. God damn it!
Oh, Ben, this is for me. This is probably my favorite trailer of the week for sure. When this first came out, the first trailer, I'm like, this week when I first saw it, I'm like, I can't believe this is real. And then rewatching it, I'm like, this is great. The only other Santa movie that reminds me of this. There's a early 2000s straight to DVD movie called Santa's Sleigh, where the wrestler Goldberg plays a murderous Santa Claus, and that movie rules.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this.
And like, we don't get the crazy Santa Claus movies as often as I want. And baby, David Harbour, the real Santa Claus, I guess.
So a couple of years ago, they made the Mel Gibson film Fat Man, which is basically this. It's Santa Claus, and it becomes action Santa Claus. So I saw the trailer, came out, I was like, all right, another one of these. But then I saw from the producers of Bullet Train and another movie I really liked that I forgot the name of. Nobody. I was like, oh, cool. And I think the action is staged really fun. I think it doesn't look like, it looks kind of like that John Wick action, that kind of like Bullet Train, that David Leitch action that we've seen.
It's also just because you made the comparison, like the Mel Gibson one. First off, David Harbour is a better celebrity to enjoy than Mel Gibson.
Yes, he is.
But it's also like what that film was doing was like very much like we want to do Logan using Santa Claus.
It was grounded.
It didn't want to show Christmas color.
Yeah,
this is steeped in Christmas color.
He's got a
like
magical portal
and the season of the year and everything. Like this is using Christmas, not just using Santa. And there's a big difference there.
Yeah, it's Santa Claus Die Hard. Wild idea. Big fan.
Sorry,
big fan.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Brandon. Go ahead.
I don't remember.
I agree with what you're saying though, that this looks more engaging than that project. Those kinds of projects have been before.
Yeah, I think they really nailed this.
Yeah, Ben, like he's the real Santa Claus, and then a house gets like burglarized with like John Leguizamo as the villain, and he portals in, and then like somebody tries to like kill him, and Santa Claus has to kill a bunch of people, and he's using his magical bag and shit.
Oh my God.
So it's because the family has like $30 million in their vault. So John Leguizamo is leading a bunch of people who want that money, and so they're holding the family hostage to get it. But in the other room, Santa was delivering their gifts at the exact same time, and so the people with the guns were clearing the house, and they busted in on him, and he's like, "Oh no, ho ho no!" And so he's also getting a call from the little girl, and she's asking for his help, and he's saying, "You're on my nice list," and so he's going to just ruin.
And then there's like a montage of him just going naughty of all the people he's killing.
Yeah,
this looks like a great movie.
There's this great bit where he's like, "What do I do with naughty kids? You give them coal, right?" And he just puts a grenade down someone's pants and walks away. And as the guy's like fumbling, he's like, "Well, I gotta watch." And he turns around and watches the dude explode.
It says seasons beatings, so there's definitely gonna be some good Santa puns. This definitely looks like it's gonna be good.
And David Harbour's just the right level to carry it with like sincerity and like quirky pun level. Like he's perfect for it. He can play like a heartful Santa and a put upon Santa at the same time.
Yeah, this December 2nd, just in time for the holidays.
Because he's got that whole bit at the beginning at the bar where he's just like,
I'm the original one.
but then you got the moment with the cookie and he's just like pitch perfect on that moment.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this.
Yeah, I am too.
That's gonna be a Christmas miracle.
Okay, so I put this one on here. I forgot to ask you about that. I mistakenly thought this was a trailer. Teen Wolf the movie released a clip.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I do. It looks like they're probably killing Tyler Hoechlin at the very beginning of the movie.
They got him for a scene.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me because like a lot of the characters I know are supposed to be in like disparate locations at this point. So this being like a thing that brings them all back together wouldn't shock me. It's definitely a head scratcher because Crystal Reed, we knew she was coming back as Allison, which was a big deal because that character's been dead for a while. And she's coming back ready to murder some people, so that's confusing. These are people who were her friends.
Rip.
Not anymore. Now she's come back from the dead like Sarah Lance
and then
Arrow.
Y'all, Teen Wolf's really good.
I love that Michael J. Fox movie.
It's probably the best thing MTV ever made.
I'll believe that in terms of TV shows. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll believe that.
Like it's real good. We all should watch Teen Wolf.
One day I will.
Do you think they're gonna catch lightning in a bottle with Wolfpack?
I think it's possible. I'm really excited about Geller being there. That's given me. That world is very fleshed out. the Teen Wolf TV world that they made. They have so much lore and room to play with mythical creatures and everything. Man, I would love for them to go even further and crazier. So, yes, I'm hopeful. That Wolfpack teaser was cool.
Yeah.
Murder on the Orient Express.
I can't stress to you guys enough that like Teen Wolf's actually pretty good. like very high up there in my like, wow, I'm really impressed. Like the performances are really good. You saw that someone was recently sharing the scene from Scream, the MTV show. There's a scene in season 2 where a guy grabs the bar on the screen when someone is hallucinating. They did shit like this multiple times on Teen Wolf where they screwed around with perspective of the camera and things like that to put you into the same fear state and uncomfortability as the characters when things were going wrong. And it was really good, really, really effective. So yeah, I highly recommend. Like MTV just had 2 shows that had like really bold visionary people working on them, and it was Scream the first 2 seasons and Teen Wolf. And I don't know, they never did it again, but like right there, boom, some incredible stuff happened.
MTV tried some horror and it worked.
Super Mario Bros.
Oh, that was this week. That's right.
That was this week.
Womp womp.
Ben,
Yeah.
why don't you go first?
No, I want to wait until what you guys hear about this.
That's
Or
fair.
What you
That's
guys
fair.
say about this.
I pulled that with Velma. I'll go first. I think everything's great, and then Chris Pratt talked, and then I was sad inside.
Yeah. It's a 99% pretty good trailer. And then I heard him go Italian voice.
I loved the Bowser stuff so much. I think the animation looks stunning. I love Jack Black as Bowser. I think he's fantastic already. I love the penguin with the deep voice. Hell yeah, give it to me, baby. It's so cool. And then Linda Belcher showed up. Ever since I saw that clip, I cannot unhear it.
It's
I saw that clip too.
it's messed up. Because now it's just the wahoo, Bobby.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Ugh.
I was talking to Sparks about it a little bit earlier. Like, I don't know if it's worse that he's not trying anything more, or that we should be thankful he's not doing a hardcore accent. Like, I don't know what's better, the fact that he's barely trying or that he's not trying. I don't even know.
I was telling Ryan that like the main thing that really just doesn't work for it is that frankly Chris Pratt's done too many voice roles where he's just being Chris Pratt playing a voice role, and it's not that he's bad at like voice acting. He's fine. It's just
He's animated.
He's used his voice every time.
Yeah,
and this doesn't feel any different. And hearing Chris Pratt's voice come out of Mario's face, I always thought was going to sound wrong, and here we are, and it sounds wrong. So you can't get past it, and it sucks, and it's unfortunate that they cast him because I just want somebody who would have tried to do something.
Every other person who spoke in this trailer, I thought this is spot on. The second Bowser talked, the second Kamek spoke, the second we heard Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, I'm like, yes to all of it. Chris Pratt was the one where I'm like, well, okay, that just sounds like Chris Pratt.
and
Even with Jack, here's the thing, even with Jack Black, because when Jack Black does some of his voice roles, he has that certain Jack Black voice. Not this time. I don't know if he was doing a deeper thing. I don't know if they modulated him in the studio. I don't know what this audio engineer
They're definitely
did.
modulating him.
But whatever.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think he is putting on that voice because he did the voice on stage live before they released the trailer, because he had that whole thing where he's on the throne. I don't think it's modulation. I think he's just a good actor. He's a good voice actor. He is a wonderful performer, doing a great performance.
Like when Bowser looks like when the penguin comes up and Bowser says, "I do not." I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah,
and he actually sound. I'm fine because look, growing up, I always hear Bowser do the really deep voice, like the Mario 64, the super deep, fast voice. And then we get to this trailer and hearing Jack Black, I'm like, no, Jack Black's scary. Or scary to an extent. Everything about, and even Keegan-Michael Key, when he does that high-pitched Toad voice, it's like that's still Keegan-Michael Key doing his thing, but I feel like he's doing more of an homage to Toad, but it's like it's Toad, but it's his version of Toad, and I'm totally okay with it. It sounds exactly like Toad. I would think Toad would sound like in the games.
Hey,
and we've heard Toad speak in the games. He's very high pitched, and it works.
I do want to say that I'm really happy that this trailer got like a lot of people talking about Jack Black. I loved seeing people online talking about how great of a performer Jack Black is.
Mm-hmm.
They I constantly watch that clip of him at Fallon doing the little music thing. I think he's such a great he's such a great actor. He's such a great showman. I love him. I'm so happy he's got this role. He's gonna kill it.
Yeah. Oh, and Gail, Luigi was in the trailer. He was at the very end, but we only hear Charlie Day screaming a little bit. But either way, I can't really say much about Charlie Day, but I do know Charlie Day is going to have a good time. I feel like
I don't think we can say too much about Charlie Day. Well, we can't. I honestly don't think we can say anything. But I think that sequence was really exciting.
It is.
I really like seeing.
Was.
What'd you say, Ryan?
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. I really liked that.
But one thing I will definitely say about the trailer, outside of Chris Pratt, like the glaring negative is unfortunately the star of the show. Everything else, absolutely gorgeous. Just chef's kiss. Mwah. That the way how the Mushroom Kingdom looks, the way Bowser's castle is a giant floating volcano of lava. It's very amazing. The Goombas look amazing. There have been memes online about the penguins because in Mario 64, people were like, the penguin you dropped off the cliff in Mario 64 became the king. Also, fun fact, voiced by Kari Payton, aka Cyborg. At just everything about how this thing, even I like the way Mario looks in this trailer. I like Mario's design, to be perfectly honest.
I like Illumination's movies. I do. I'm not as hard on Illumination as others.
I am hard on Illumination, and this looks awesome.
And I've always said how much I really like their Dr. Seuss stuff. This is the best looking movie Illumination has ever put out.
Hands down, easy.
Hands down. And I also want to bring up Mac's comment right here too. He says he's waiting more for Donkey Kong's voice, but waiting for the film entirely to actually give my 2 cents.
We got Anya Taylor-Joy's Peach. She's going to be great. He's always great. I Seth Rogen, I can't help but think he's just going to be great. I'm not worried about anybody but the lead.
Chris Pratt is the only.
I kind of wish Seth Rogen were playing Mario instead.
That would be funnier.
Look,
that would be funnier.
He'd fit the face more, even if he's just being Seth Rogen. That's the thing.
And he'd do a little Italian.
Chris Pratt's maybe trying a little. His voice just doesn't work coming out of Mario's face.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense.
No,
I agree.
It doesn't, and also the fact that Charles Martinet is on the bill. He's voicing a character. He's voicing characters in this movie as well.
Background people, I bet.
Probably, but.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to say Charles should have voiced Mario because I don't know that would have been the right way to go.
No, I don't think so, especially since all the games, they're not very dialogue heavy anyway. But what I will say is...
Hold on. Sparks is trying to say something.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just someone who looks like they actually fit the face of Mario, which there's just no world where Chris Pratt does. Like, I was honestly holding out hope before this trailer came out that somehow... because he said I was working on a voice, that somehow he was going to pull something out.
Liar.
That didn't sound like it, him in Onward or the Lego movie or any other project Chris Pratt has done. And it just does. It just does. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
We can only hope it won't happen.
Yeah,
because Chris Pratt is the world. The regular people love Chris Pratt. He's going to make this movie 10 times more money if he wasn't the star of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why he is the star, even if he doesn't fit. Maybe we'll get a Sonic and they'll make his voice sound better, but I doubt it.
A lot of people have been petitioning that they force Chris Pratt to go back in the booth and re-record all his lines. A lot of people have been saying that.
Now, here's the thing. I'm willing to die on the hill that Charles Martinet could have done this. I don't think you probably should have hired him because whatever, if you're gonna have an all-star cast, why not splurge? But the thing is, this goes back to the thing we've been talking about for decades now. Hire voice actors. The fact that Hollywood has something against professional voice actors is getting out of hand. And Charles Martinet is a good voice actor. He is not just the role of, he's not just every Mario clone in that game. He also does a bunch of other things around in all sorts of animation. He's a good voice actor. And the fact that he can't play the role that he made famous is ridiculous.
I will say, in defense of not casting Charles Martinet, I think that the challenge is that Mario is just not a character designed to speak like this in a film. And I think I think it is an unfair task to put upon his shoulders to try to make Mario work in a way that is not too exaggeratory of all the ways that he has voiced Mario for decades. Like, that would be hard. He would have to try to be true to Mario, but also having to dull Mario down. And I don't know that that's a fair ask. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done it, but I understand not doing it.
I don't.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. A different voice actor. It's just all of Mario's phrases
all he says is "wahoo."
Are so big and so
exaggerated,
offensively Italian, and you'd have to pare that down. And I'm not saying he's
you'd be losing what makes him special.
I'm right. I'm not saying he's incapable. I think that's a tough spot to put someone in. Someone who has been married to the character.
I am not saying that it is not a tough spot to be put in. I do think, in the hypothetical world that will never happen, that Charles Martinet does get cast as Mario, I think he could have done it. He could have toned down that role. He could have performed it as a voice actor because he is a voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just the voice of Mario, like I said. Like he can. I believe he could have done it, but we don't live in that world, unfortunately.
No. Also, a clip from the French dub has been making the rounds as well. People are saying that they're going to watch the film in French for Mario's voice.
Man.
But to put a pin on this, once again, this was just a teaser trailer. Another trailer is definitely coming along the line, maybe around Christmas or something. But one thing I can definitely say just from this teaser, Chris Pratt aside, I am stupid excited for this movie. I love the way it looks. I love how Jack Black is voiced. I love how Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. I cannot wait to see more. Chris Pratt is when I go buy my ticket to see this film, I am going to see Jack Black, Angelina Jolie, Charlie Day, everyone else outside of Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I got bad news. It's called the Mario movie.
I know it's called the Mario movie.
I will say I'm not totally against a sound alike. I want to just real quickly just kind of say that. Like, didn't have to be Martinet. It could have just been a voice actor, I just think. Anyway, I am curious, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Look, as Ryan pointed out, it's the Mario movie. Mario's in the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think there's a world where his voice doesn't hinder your enjoyment of that film? Like, how important would voice acting be in that sense?
You're talking about Mario?
No, I'm talking like, you know how we always talk about, like, you know, good art can ruin a comic. Bad writing with good art can help a comic. You know, we talk about a lot of that like that. I'm curious, is there a world where Ben could like it in spite of Chris Pratt, or would Chris Pratt's overwhelming performance in the movie be a major hindrance?
Oh no, there's definitely a world where I would love the Mario movie and say Chris Pratt's the worst thing about it. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean
that's the best case scenario.
Still good.
Yeah, that is the best case scenario as of right now. That's like the
Ryan said 9/10, but he'd be, because he's Mario. He'd be like the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
Like if 9/10, he wouldn't be 1/10 of the movie. He'd be 9/10 of the movie.
True, but it's 9/10. I mean, wow, even though
I don't actually mean like in terms of time in the movie. I just mean 9/10 was a bad example to say.
But now,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Stockholm syndrome with movies is definitely a real thing, and you just kind of get used to something and accept it. And that's true with any kind of media you consume. And especially if you like something, you will look over blemishes. Remember going back, the first time we saw the Sonic the Hedgehog film, I still was not super stoked about the interpretation of Sonic's voice, even though I like the actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just didn't feel like, just like what Brandon's saying, that there was no need to replace Sonic's voice actor with them.
Yeah.
So, but like, I got used to that and accepted it. And I think the situations are different. I do think he's a better voice actor in general than Chris Pratt and is very befitting of Sonic, whereas Chris Pratt is not befitting of Mario. But I think if everything else sings for all of us in general, that would be an accurate assessment. If everything else sings in the movie, you're just going to accept that Chris Pratt is voicing Mario. You're just kind of going to go, eh. And if you really don't like it, then you wait for it to come out on Blu-ray. You'll listen to it in a different dub.
Y'all, that French dub, the real deal. They got him. He's French, but he's also Italian. Amazing.
If Ben really wants me to, I'll get the Blu-ray of it and I will edit it so that Mario speaks French and everyone else speaks English.
But no subtitles.
No, he'll get his subtitles.
No,
I'm not going to force you to do that, but thank you for offering.
No, you gotta learn French.
Or I learned French.
I like that better.
Well, I'm glad you're happy, Ben.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Oh man, what a week. Jeez Louise. Looks real. Man, it looks so good. It looks so stupid good. Like I'm in awe about how bad I want to see this movie. I think Namor, like I have never been more excited for a character to show up, like since like Thanos, like for real. Like he looks so incredible, and this is the introduction of him in the universe, not the end of it. It just looks incredible. It looks like a great movie. I'm so excited.
Sure, he's almost definitely Black Panther.
She's one Black Panther, 100%. Yes.
Holding on to that.
Yeah, I 100% believe there will be multiple people. No, she might become the Black Panther, but there are multiple people wearing Black Panther suits in this movie. 100%. I almost can guarantee there are going to be multiple Black Panther suits in this movie. I will guarantee it.
All right.
What's sure he's going to be making so much tech? You got to fight a war against a bunch of people. You got to give your homies.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just not committing to the belief because I don't want to be disappointed.
I just don't want Shuri to be the only Black Panther. That's my mindset.
I'm not going in hedging my bets on that.
I just think there's a really there's no indication of this at all, but I think it would be really awesome if the Queen wore a suit when she has to fight Namor or something.
I do.
That would be sick as shit.
No, I agree. I think that would be really sick. I will point out, because I thought this was very funny, that Ryan was pointing out evidence to me from the previous trailer before this trailer, and he's like, look at this. The mask is different with different dots. Could be a different Black Panther. And I'm like, or they finished the effects on the mask for this trailer. He's like, don't say that.
Listen,
don't
I'm just
say
saying,
that.
They put it in a trailer. I'm just saying. I'm just, and again, Marvel always does this. They're not showing us the whole movie. This movie's almost. Do you know how long this movie has been?
How long?
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. They did not show us 2 hours and 40 minutes worth of footage, my friend.
Well, I'd be showing us the movie.
Shut up. I firmly think that he said himself, Namor is not the villain of the movie. So there is some ulterior threat, whatever it is. I'm excited.
Some Doom approach.
Listen, I'm just saying. I'm not gonna say it's Doom. It's what I want.
Yeah.
But there is like so many of these Marvel products, there is an element that they're not showing us yet.
Sure.
And that is the element that I'm really, really excited for, because it's always spicy. It's always juicy. It might be doomy.
Very excited about all the Ironheart footage that we get in glimpses here.
Oh my god. Yeah, they're in real quick, sorry. I'm so stoked. They're in Chicago. We see Chicago license plates, so they're doing her real origin where Riri is from Chicago. Their outreach program happening there probably. This looks. If this movie's bad, it's gonna destroy me, because not just bad. I don't like bad movies, but what the movie is and what it represents, and everything with Chadwick. I'm like, this has got to be a winner, man. Oof.
I really like his wings.
His feet wings. Yes. God, he's gonna be the first mutant too. They've confirmed it, but will they say it? Yeah, probably.
And then they'll play the X-Men 97 theme.
Yeah, you don't have to do that part again. You don't gotta do that.
All right, shall we go into our...
I want to hear what you have to say, Brandon.
Sorry, I realized Megan was trying to grab Luna.
Oh, that's fine.
It's okay. I don't have anything to say. You all said it.
Okay. You have nothing?
You all said it.
Okay.
All right. Shall we go into our main topic?
I'm ready in black and white.
Let's do it.
Real quick, Gail had a great question. Is Wakanda in the middle of the continent of Africa? If so, how did he flood? I believe it is closer to either the eastern or the west side, because when you see it fly in, there's like an ocean that they're flying over and shit. So I think that it's near a coastal.
So it's a coastal name. So it has a coast.
It might not be like on the coast, but it is near water enough for him to
Close enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Close enough.
All right, so now we are in our main topic. We're going to be talking about Marvel's first Marvel special presentation, Werewolf by Night. So full spoilers. Full spoilers for that. You have been warned. We're going to be spoiling the heck out of it. All right, what do we think about this?
I had a
Howling good time.
yes. I was like, rotting good time. I am someone who I will like anything if it's good, right? But I have specific things that my niche is. I really like horror. I really like sci-fi. I like fantasy, but like it's a little bit under. But so like when you give me really good science fiction or really good horror, I'm really a big fan. When Marvel is able to do it, I'm really a big fan. And what they gave me with this presentation is absolutely one of my favorite things they've ever made. I don't know if it'd be better or worse if it was longer. I know I just wanted to watch more because I was so in love with everything that was happening on screen. I am infatuated with this. I'm sure it's got problems. I don't know if we'll talk about them. Maybe. I didn't see them. I think it's incredible. Love it. That's me.
Sparks or
Ben.
Someone go.
I absolutely loved it.
You did? Yes.
I absolutely loved it. Part of me, when I was enthralled with the story, I honestly think the length is perfect. It was very concise. I had an absolute. I loved the style of it. I loved how it was a black and white. I loved how the only red you saw was from the Bloodstone. Everything about it to me, I was like, this was a great Halloween one shot. The whole time I'm watching this is a perfect Marvel Studios Halloween one shot. And as of right now, I have zero negatives. I have nothing bad to say about it. I had an absolute blast, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm so glad.
Sparks?
You're not as horror centric as us. So like, I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
Sparks?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised that I loved it. Me who regularly watches the classic Universal monster films, how could I not? I think it's the right length. Kind of bouncing off what Gail's saying, wishing it was long. I get that. Like, not that I wouldn't want more of it. I do. But I don't think it needed to be for this first outing. Of what I care about more is that they fully committed to doing the thing they were doing, which is something that the MCU has not been great about. And here they were like, no, we're doing the fact that this whole thing is in black and white, the fact that they committed to the genre of it, the fact that they committed to the violence of it, the horror of it. Like, this just felt good because it felt free of the constraints of this is yet another project where I didn't feel like they were trying to be for everybody.
100%.
And I don't care who they left behind.
Absolutely. That's a good point. Absolutely.
I loved it.
Yes.
One of my favorite of the MCU, probably in my top 5 if I'm thinking about it.
Hell yeah, baby.
Though that top 5 is getting crowded as hell. I love how first off, we talked a little bit about this in She-Hulk. How She-Hulk's very confident in what it wants to do, and very much Giacchino is very confident in what he wants to do in this. And it is a confidence that I should have suspected could come from him, because I've championed him as a director since I watched his Star Trek his short film. I said a lot about it on Twitter. It's great, but that is so confident of an animated project that I should have realized that man knows what he wants to do, has an eye for it, and I was blown away. I adore this. This is incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely, again, going back to like old school like horror movies, and like even just like silent movies, like the score and the music is so important to it.
Yeah.
Especially the older movies and stuff. So like the fact that you have not just like a brilliant composer, but the guy he's composing it for the thing he's directing.
Right.
I was in love with it in the first 15 seconds when the Marvel Studios thing got a slash through it and it turned old school. I was like,
Yeah.
come on, bro, give me a
And
break.
And it
The
helps that
second-
Giacchino. Sorry, real quick, Steven. It helps that Giacchino has composed that Marvel Studios logo intro, so he's able to play with it. He's playing with his own intro. It's really cool. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
No. I was just about to kind of echo what Ryan said, because the second the Marvel Studios logo is going, you get that really cool special presentation thing, and then the slash, and it goes into black and white. And the second it went to black and white, I'm like, oh, I know I'm in for the good time.
Also,
I'm in for a Marvel Universal style monster flick, and I'm here for it.
Moon Knight back in the logo. Thank you, Mark.
That's true.
Thank you.
I really, I want to talk a little bit about the black and white, because we've touched on it already. One of the things I'm not gonna throw anything under the bus, but like one of the things that I is very important with black and white is something that James Mangold talked about. You know, he couldn't just. People were asking him, why don't you just what's stopping me from turning the color down on my TV to watch Logan Noir? And he's like, well, it's not purposeful. Black and white needs to be purposeful. It cannot just be black and white for its sake. Everything.
It can't be what we did, where I just turned the saturation down.
Yeah, it can't. It's got to
Zack
be.
Snyder.
Yeah.
I didn't want to throw anyone under the bus.
I did.
It cannot. It has to be It has to be seen through the eye of black and white. And what I've noticed very early on is how nothing blends into the background. How the set feels very open and it pops. There's depth of field within the shadows. The shadows are true black. In a way, this is the most colorful the MCU has been in a long time, just because of how bold those blacks are.
Mm-hmm.
The way it uses shadow and lighting is brilliant. Everything, I already said, like all the plants, easily every leaf could just blend into the leaf behind it, but it doesn't. You can tell that there are separate plants, and it's so important to make that decision. This is going to be black and white. So we need to make sure we are lighting it like it will be black and white.
It's definitely, you can tell, yeah, the thought process was there from the get-go.
Giacchino did a very good job of blending the world of the MCU with what classic Universal films look like.
Again, like, you don't have to explain that we have like monsters. You don't have they do exactly what they needed to do. Here are their heroes. There's also monsters you don't know about. That's it. That's literally it. And then you can just introduce to the entire world for the next 10 years of monsters. And I'm like, man, look how easy that was. Incredible. What's up, man?
I was really excited to see Marvel's take at Bloodborne.
Yeah. Listen, you're gonna love Elsa Bloodstone, then, my guy. That's literally she's Miss Bloodborne. She's an asshole. She kills monsters. It's what she does.
I'm sorry. The second they were talking about the Hun and the Scottish guy's axe, I was like, this is just Marvel Bloodborne. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Definitely. It was battle royale, both the monster involved, like just really fun concept.
I love the misdirect of man thing also. Like, he's this monster in the thing, and then when he comes out and grabs Jack and is like, "Oh, Ted, I found you."
Good, again, another misdirect to the trailers, because he gets grabbed through, and I'm like, yeah, good shit. Man thing, definitely, probably the MVP. Like, again, it was so smart not making him the actual like monster, because he is just like Swamp Thing. He's like person. Right. People think that's what's great about the show. It's about like, hey, my monsters aren't monsters. Blah blah blah. Now everything's black and white. He's so fun. They made him so fun. He makes coffee. He's best friends with our lead. Jack Russell. Jacqueline Russo, who got a name change, so he's a dog now. I forget his name because he has 3 names. He's great. He's a great name. Gael Garcia Bernal. It's really nice that they were able to, because again, in the comics, Jack Russell, white dude, very boring, turns to a werewolf, right? Bringing in a Mexican actor, doing the De los Muertos stuff on his face, allowing him to bringing more culture to the MCU that this Phase 4 has done so well. I don't think, this is going to sound negative, but there's not a lot to his character. He's kind of the vessel for the audience. It's more about everyone else. He's just a really good dude. But it's nice to see that it wasn't just a boring white dude.
That's the thing about this Marvel Special presentation format that is so interesting to me, because it is there isn't really a character arc. Every character, not like a change. There's not really a character change. Every character has an arc, but not like a change.
Yeah.
there, every character, Elsa and Jack, they start at a place, they have a goal, and the story is just them completing that goal. And because you're not working with the 2.5 hour length of what an MCU film normally is, you're working with a shorter time than that. It was really smart to just be like, to establish every character, who they are, who the audience needs to know them as, so that we can invest in them as we follow them on their journey. I think there's some great storytelling in the beginning with Jack Russell and Elsa Bloodstone. There is a little bit of exposition with the stepmother with Elsa, which I think is delivered actually in a pretty natural way. But Jack kind of being uncomfortable and kind of walking around trying to kind of give this off this air of like, I'm one of you guys. While he's kind of looking at the trophies.
I noticed it my second time. He doesn't walk in wearing the necklace. He has it in his hand, and then when he puts it on as he's walking, it's like he's not part of this. He's not a hunter. He's a creature of the night who hunts, but he's not a hunter.
Right.
Which is again a great reveal. Like, oh, this dude's killed more monsters than anyone. Yeah, because like he's a monster hunter as a monster.
Just
so
to
cool.
comment on the special having an arc thing, and to be fair, I'm saying the thing you said.
Yeah.
But Elsa essentially does have an arc through this because I think you're right about what you thought of when we were watching it. That when she's the color is coming into the world when she's sitting into the chair, it's her focal point of the world of monsters is not black and white.
Yep.
As that simple.
Yep. Jack's a monster.
Because that's changed, and that is an arc, and that's enough because it's like it's the arc of a one-shot comic. That's as much as that is here. I don't disagree with Gail about wanting a more explanation for the history between why Elsa fell out with her dad and that kind of stuff. Like I think there sure was room to flesh that out, but I also don't feel like it was necessary to make this work.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they give you just enough so you get it that like she doesn't want to be part of these assholes. Like these are a bunch of jerks, and whether
she doesn't care about their
she doesn't care about their traditions. Now
her stepmother sucks.
She's
so
I
say that,
good.
But that actor's super good.
Oh my god, she eats it up,
man. The most like straight-faced Frau Blücher I've ever seen.
My god.
Yeah. Very, very, very.
I will. Harriet Sansom Harris committed 150% to the role she was playing in this special.
You know who?
And the special would be weaker without her.
I agree. You know who also committed? The guy who has to turn the thing. And he's like,
he did give great. That guy did give great Igor vibes. I will not lie.
Ben, you've never seen Young Frankenstein, have you?
I have not.
Yeah. Okay. There's a similar character in Young Frankenstein, played far more comedically to the stepmother. I thought all the secondary characters were really colorful and fun, especially the butler who's got his cane is all the thing. If the Ulysses Bloodstone a talking animatronic corpse is such a cool thing. Like that's so cool.
It's good because it's like it's funny, it's very Halloween.
Graveyard humor.
But it's also a window into like how effed up he is and how effed up the family is, and you kind of get the window of like why Elsa wouldn't want to be a part of this just from the fact that her dad rigged his own corpse to give the instructions for getting the bloodstone. Like a weirdo.
Gail, that's a great question. Why did Elsa want the bloodstone? One, it is part of her like legacy. You know, like if you're a king and you have a princess, like she like
it's her heritage. She wants it because she believes it's her heritage.
It's her heritage, yeah. And she might not want to be part of the Bloodstone family, but the Bloodstone makes you immortal and it gives you super strength and all this good shit. So like, I'd want that if my shitty dad died. For sure, absolutely. There's some great speculation, great stuff in the comics that Ulysses not actually dead. This is all a ruse to get Elsa back into his life. I firmly believe that could be the case. But again, this is the MCU. Ulysses could be a throwaway character. Either way, it's fun. Ulysses is a really, really... Ulysses Bloodstone is not a character I'd ever thought would appear, just like Elsa Bloodstone in live action. So like,
Thing,
dude, I still can't believe that for real.
It's crazy. Man Thing was mentioned in the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Maria Hill walks out of the courthouse and says, "Oh, they just kept asking me like, what is a man thing?"
That's right. Yeah. Gosh.
It's taken that long to finally get Man-Thing in the MCU. We had his wife. We had his wife in the MCU before him because she's in Iron Man 3.
That's right. Yeah, that's definitely they did not think about the future.
No.
She can't show up again. She's dead and
She's the botanist, right?
No,
she's the evil like lady who she fights Tony Stark in a bar or something.
Yeah, that's his wife.
Random ass character. Yeah. God, yeah. So Man-Thing showing up and him not using his teleportation Nexus of Reality powers probably means we're at an early or we're at a stage that shit doesn't happen yet, which is exciting because just like Man-Thing, his origin, like he's just like a man monster, and then slowly he gets the powers of the cosmos and all this crazy shit. It's this 1 hour special opened the doors for so much shit that was just inconceivable in my brain as ever being alive. Like again, this is one of those like it happens every couple months. Like the Thunderbolts is a real thing. Like the Midnight Suns are going to happen. Like Elsa Bloodstone is a redheaded monster hunter from obscure comics nobody reads. Like it feels incredible. And when this thing happens, everybody on the internet and the world loves her. So now Elsa Bloodstone is going to become a household name, which means in the comics she'll get a bigger bump. And it's just like it's the MCU cycle that I like when they do take the obscure characters and they do good shit with them. Because again, every character has merit. Elsa rules. She's such a bitch.
You talked a bit about Man-Thing's powers. I want to talk about the brutality of this special. I was very pleasantly surprised how bloody it was. Admittedly, it's black and white blood, but it's good. It's good
chunky.
use of what?
It's chunky.
It's chunky. It's good use of it. There's the guy gets his arm cut off, and then when he's flipped over, you see the blood trail from the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorite sequence is when the werewolf, when Jack gets out and we see him in the hallway as the door is closing, and so the light keeps changing, keeps like getting less and less, and he's fighting the dudes, and it's just the long shot zoom in. Brilliant. And as the blood like splatters the camera, I love that. I loved that.
I definitely think that they were able to get away with the rated R because the black and white, because like they're straight up a sword goes in someone's head.
Mm-hmm.
That's
more than one person.
That's so brutal. That's rated R Northman brutal.
Even Man-Thing's powers when he's like vaporizing people and people are like, ah!
Phosphorus acid. God,
it's what brilliant.
He's basically like he's a swamp ghost rider. He kills you. He senses your fear and then he burns you alive. And we read a cool comic that goes in like, what if everybody's afraid? That's scary.
And I really like the ending when Jack runs away, and then because Jack showed up to save Man-Thing, and then he got captured, and so Man-Thing came to save him, but he had already left, and so Elsa's just he went that way. He's just like, oh, okay, thanks.
It's obviously we know who the Werewolf by Night is, but like there are going to be regular people who tune in the show not knowing who the werewolf is. Not knowing Werewolf by Night. So when Jack touches the Bloodstone and he gets shocked back, I think that will surprise some people, some regular people. And I think that's really cool because they don't give you until he's close to transforming, when he starts scratching himself like a dog, you don't get any indication really that he's a monster. And I'm like, that's so fun. Like that is a fun, like, you were with the monster.
I think at a certain point you might just assume because you're like, well, somebody's a werewolf.
Yes, of course, but like they don't. It's not like
because everybody else is a hunter.
Yes, and they're not immediately shoving it in your face.
Yeah.
You can narrow it down to who it is, but they don't throw it in your face.
No, I get you. I get you.
The one of my favorite uses of the Bloodstone being the only thing in color is when she's using it to like attack Jack, and so like you see the red electricity sparks come out of the Bloodstone, and as they hit Jack, they turn into black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought that was brilliant. I really like the fact that the Bloodstone is the only thing. Another thing I really like is when Jack has escaped and he's up on the trophies, and you just see his eyes out of the corner of the brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Some of my favorite like eye visuals or whatever. Like you got Blade Runner, they do like the crazy eye things, and then like Midnight Mass, a lot of vampire stuff. You do like the eyes and stuff, and like that is so spooky. We saw it in Trick or Treat with the dog.
Yeah, that was pretty spooky too.
Yeah,
really good werewolf.
Oh, y'all, the fact that it's just a dude in a suit and it's not like CGI. Oh my god,
it's a great modern evolution of the original Wolfman.
That's just a Wolfman. It's so it's crazier that he's just a Wolfman instead of CGI, because that's the world we live in where like it's just easier to make everything CGI. And I'm like, nah, man, they put that guy in makeup chair for 6 hours.
There's even a practical man thing. There is moments in the special where Man Thing is CG, but they built a practical man thing for that movie.
They did. He is CG a lot of the time, 100%. But having a practical guy on set definitely helps with the visual artists, with the actors and everyone. Like,
well, but even
real good.
Even so, when like I think where it really works, and this is a small moment, but it really sells the realism of Man Thing when he first grabs Jack out from that's a practical Man Thing hand that the actor who plays Jack is interacting with, and then he's interacting with a real Man Thing face. It's small, but it really helps the audience not be so jarred by the fact that the next time we see him as CG, we now already believe it to be a real thing.
Yes, there is an interview out. They digitally replaced a lot of it. Just like a lot of, unfortunately, like as good as the suit looks, like it didn't work with the lighting and stuff like that. So a lot of it, there is a suit there. It is CGI enhanced, just like Moon Knight. But it looks so much better than Moon Knight. I think because it's black and white too. That helps.
Right. The black and white does help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the trumpet that plays fire.
So much good culty shit. Yeah.
I thought those were fire bagpipes, but nope, just a big ass trombone, a tuba or something. I don't know. That big brass instrument that spews fire.
Yeah, that's like the call of the hunters, like because you hear in the background when every time a hunter enters. Yeah, Michael Giacchino, man, like I know he directed like a Star Trek short, but like this is a live action feature, and like they are different things, and like there's
a lot of more on-set stuff. You got
he's worked in the industry so long. I think he's got a hold on all of it. He's like, no, I got it. I can make the music. I can make the show. I'll do all of it. Like, yeah, Giacchino. Yeah, I hope he does more. I want him to do more.
Giacchino is the path that we talk about a lot. The one that can the one that starts in indie and goes to big blockbusters, but you have that one in between. You're right. Animation and live action are two different beasts, but the fact that he went from a great animated episode to a great live action episode, he could easily go to directing a feature-length film for whomever, Marvel, whoever, and I believe it would be great.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. I'm just so thrilled that like Marvel, Marvel's taking a risk with Ant-Man, with Guardians of the Galaxy. They are taking a risk making a black and white Wolfman movie for real. This is like the Wolfman exists in other things. It's not like Iron Man exists in other things. Like Wolfman werewolves exist forever. But like Marvel has their own Wolfman now before the Fantastic Four are here. That's stupid. What a world do we live in? That there's no X-Men, but we got a werewolf
and Man Thing.
I could not be happier with this. Like truly. Just like, you know, sometimes we get something that's like, oh, that could have been better, but like then they get something like this and you're like, you know what? You won this year. You got this one. Hell yeah.
Should I rate it?
Do you think that's a vampire on the wall that he refers to?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you think a specific vampire? Or...
It can't be Dracula.
Well, I figured that.
Yeah. It's definitely. So we definitely see in the Bloodstone.
I guess I'm not asking the question correctly.
Sorry.
Do you think this is going to be the MCU visual interpretation of vampires going forward when we get like Blade and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%. At least the old school versions. They might be modern, just like things stuff, but like that is like the monster look of it. Yeah. We see Sasquatch and we see a Bigfoot. Ulysses Bloodstone murdered Bigfoot, and we see his face just up there. There's a Sasquatch, not the same Sasquatch who's friends with the Hulk, I hope, because that's a real person. That's a human being who transforms. Love it, man. Yeah. Would I give this a 10? Like I give it a 10. Like again, if it was longer, it might have more issues, but it's an hour and there's no problems there. So like 10. I love it. Give me an Elsa one shot, please.
Sparks or Ben?
Ben, you've said very little. Why don't you go off?
Okay, sure. But also I want to bring up Gail's comment as well. She said that this was definitely a hit. Everyone was chatting about this in the hospital over the weekend.
I love that.
And Mag was saying Dracula's too OP.
Unless he's fighting Hammer Hulk.
Yeah, unless he's fighting Hammer Hulk.
There.
I absolutely love this. Even earlier, Gail was talking about like the moral of the story, and I think I love the moral of the story is like not all monsters are monstrous. Like the reason Jack is there is to go save Ted. Ted is just like, he is stuck there, and he's like, I don't want to be here. I'm just a man thing. Boop, doop, doop, doop. And then you got like the complete black and white visualization of the hunters who are like, we see monster, we kill monster, because monsters are all evil when they're inherently not. But other than that, I also have to give this a 10.
Yeah.
It was short and sweet. It's a great style. Absolutely stunning. Just the way it was shot, it's stunning. And even earlier, Gail was talking about the over the rainbow scene where everything turned to color. I thought that was beautiful. I was like, that's a great moment. And even the end part with just Ted and Jack talking about going to get sushi. I'm like,
you picked the spot.
It's like, I love this. This is everything about this was perfect. And yeah, it's a 10.
One more thing that I mentioned. There's a scene where it's the stepmom's face, and then it transforms into a skull into the next scene. And that's a very like Sam Raimi transition. I'm like, yeah, thank you, Michael.
It's very monster, classic, universal.
There you go. It's a better. There you go.
Yeah.
Love it.
Raimi adapting from the classics.
100%.
I really like the part where Elsa is like Ted. I thought that was
Lovely name.
executed. I could say more things that we already said, but I just think it's really good. So it's a 10.
I also would give it a 10. So 10s across the board.
Perfect score.
Whoop.
I think it is just long enough. We should have a fun little thing when that happens. It's so rare.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, we need a button.
Yeah. I think it's just long enough. I think it's paced incredibly well. It shows a confidence in a burgeoning director that I love to see. I'm so excited for more of Michael Giacchino's directorial efforts. I will always be a fan of his music, and I'm so here for all of his music. But as a director, he is untapped potential that I cannot wait to see more of.
Hey man, that Blade movie needs a director.
That's true.
A black director.
I would wish that they could make a Werewolf by Night special every Halloween. I would love to watch more Adventures of Jack Russell throughout all, like just make Halloween specials, Marvel special presentation, Werewolf by Night.
Wouldn't shock me if some of these folks are in Coven of Chaos. Just saying.
So there was rumors before Werewolf by Night was officially announced that there was going to be every year there would be one, and the next one would be Elsa. This was before the trailer came out. Now that Werewolf by Night is out, I firmly believe the next one will be an Elsa one, 100%. How rumors go, like that seems to be true.
I do think this is a good success. So I do think that Marvel will be interested in doing these every year, a Halloween special. And if Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is good, I could see them doing a holiday special every year as well. Maybe perhaps not Guardians of the Galaxy, but like something else.
A Spider-Man holiday special.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Oh my god, yeah.
The point is, I'm really happy with the first Marvel special presentation. I'm excited for more of those. I'm excited for more of Giacchino. I love this. I adore this. This is up there for me. 10 out of 10.
I love it. Look at that, man. Sometimes Marvel just does it right. Thank you, Marvel. I appreciate you.
Book club?
Book club?
Ryan, take it away.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Ryan Iliopoulos, Comic Man. And I chose, as I do every year, last couple years, I chose 5 single fun issues of spooky comics from the Marvel Universe that are easy to read on Marvel Unlimited because that makes it easy on everyone. And we're going to go in a particular order. And I didn't label these in the correct order, which is my fault. But I want to go in the correct order because I want to save the best for last, which is the Fantastic Four one. Let's start with Hulk versus Dracula. Hey, guys. I got it, Fear Itself. Real quick. I got it. I did not plan this. I'm so sorry. Hey, guys. So during Fear Itself, a bunch of hammers drop down. Odin's evil brother, the Serpent, wants to take over the world, wants to be Odin. So 7 evil hammers drop down, and a bunch of heroes and villains get them. They become super powerful and become crazy. What happens when the Hulk goes against Dracula? Not a question you get asked very often. And as I find more about this comic, I want to hear what you guys have to think. What to say about it? It's a first of 3. This is a breezy read, but I still want to see what you guys thought.
I liked the first few pages where they're going into where Hulk is like traveling through the vampire nation, and that one vampire is like, I'm pretty sure he's a respectable chap, and he tells him like, look, you just go your way, it's gonna be fine, we're not gonna worry, and Hulk just hits his head clean off. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, that's a good tone setter. I'm into this.
I enjoyed it.
This one definitely is like, I chose this because it was Britsky.
I had the page here where it's when Raizo Coda shows up.
Hell yeah, Raizo Coda!
And I sat there and I was like, this is one of those times where you're reading a comic and everybody's like, literally Dracula's son is there like, whoa, what? Raizo Coda? The Raizo Coda? And I'm like, all right. I mean, like, you guys could do this all you want. I don't know who this is.
I don't expect anyone to know the 17th, the 17th random Dracula son. Like,
so it's just playing through that moment, and I'm like, yeah, okay, Raizo Coda.
Let me tell you why I like this book. I don't think it's particularly great. I think it is also the first issue of just like a fun little miniseries. I like seeing political and like battle strategy Dracula, because that's not a Dracula.
That is fun.
You don't get to see battle Dracula very often. Strategy Dracula. And I just think that's a good time.
I made a choice after I'd finished reading to read the rest of issues of some of these. So I've read all 3 of the Fear Itself Hulk versus Dracula issues.
Oh yeah.
I wish I'd picked a different one. I should have done Chris
that's why
the Man Thing.
That's why I picked one.
Yeah. I should have read all 3 of Chris the Man Thing. That's the one I really wanted to read all pieces of.
I really thought about it for this week because Werewolf by Night, but I wanted a variety of all of the universe.
The Hulk versus Dracula story where it goes is like, yeah, okay, cool, all right. You're correct. Like, watching Dracula be like pragmatic strategist is the best part of it. By a mile.
I really can we?
I like Hulk's design.
I love the final page. It's just cargo drops of monsters on top of Hulk. I think that's really cool. It's Ryan Stegman on art. This is early Stegman. So like I love Stegman's art. I just think it's just a fun. It's a shame that it doesn't get any better. But
I will say. So one of Raizo Kodo's guys is a vampire who like adapts himself into smoke. So he tries to get in on the Hulk like that, and so the Hulk's swiping at him, and he's like, "You can't hit something that's transisted." And so the Hulk breathes in very deep and disperses him with a gust of air from his mouth, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Any thoughts before we move on, Brandon?
I didn't care for this.
Cool. Okay. Next, move on to let's do Ghost Rider. Let's do part 1 of Rise of the Midnight Suns, Ghost Rider 28. This is my favorite Ghost Rider run. This is the Danny Ketch run, but this is the beginning of the Midnight Suns. Everyone's, Punisher and Moon Knight, everyone's favorite Midnight Suns in this comic. That's an internet joke, sorry, y'all. I love Ghost Rider. I think this is a really cool first issue. I think the art is stupid good, but I've always thought the art is good. There's one specific flash page of the Rise of the Midnight Suns that is just jaw-dropping. There's so many beautiful characters. It's such a beautiful splash page. I'm glad we read this. I talked about this first because you see the weapon of Johnny Blaze show up in another comic in the Thunderbolts issue, so that's fun. What did you guys think of the Ghost and Blaze double combo?
I enjoyed it quite a whole lot. I like what I really liked is how Ghost Rider is staying Ghost Rider because Danny Ketch suffered a fatal injury, and if he transforms into Danny, he's dead, but Danny's still dying inside of him, so he's like, well, I'm screwed either way. You have that complication going, and then you see Danny as a spirit go to the light, which I assume he's trying to ascend to heaven, but instead he's
so good.
Yeah, that's on the splash page. And then, of course, he sees Lilith in the Midnight Suns. He's like, ah, shit, we're screwed. I like Johnny Blaze's shotgun. That's really cool. The old man on the other motorcycle.
The caretaker, Sam Elliott.
Caretaker, yeah, Sam. I really enjoyed this issue. I had a good time with this one.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I really like the art. Just like you said, I think the art for Ghost Rider, especially, like I've seen a lot of these before. This time period of Ghost Rider art is just exceptional.
One of my favorite he's not emerging. One of my favorite villains that I'm learning more about, Blackheart. We read about him when I made you guys read Ghost Rider before. He's got the giant eye. He's like the electrical vampire. I think he's so rad. I love seeing Morbius because, again, in the 90s is the only time Morbius has been really great. It's really nice. Brandon, did you care for this one?
I like the art. Truthfully, it was a little hard to follow. But so the things that I were able to figure out, I really enjoyed, like Johnny Blaze's shotgun, or what Ben talked about with Danny Ketch constantly dying inside of Ghost Rider. I thought those were pretty cool. But I liked it. I like this one fine.
I do like the idea of Ghost Rider like trapped in his state because he's trying to protect Danny, and so that means like I'm just gonna penance stare everybody and toss him in this mausoleum. I'm just gonna can't get himself under control at all.
Yeah, and then at the end, he's like, "Oh, you finally got your shit on together. That's cool. That's teeny arc, tiny little arc." That's a good time. Why don't we move on now to Avengers: Curse of the Man-Thing? Oh, I should have been doing credits for all these, but there's a lot of comments we're reading. Hey guys, Steve Orlando did an entire little mini arc with Man-Thing last year, probably in the lead up to this. Where it's the Avengers and the Man-Thing, X-Men and the Man-Thing, other people, Spider-Man and the Man-Thing. But I chose part 1 because my initial one I was going to pick the X-Men one was part 7, and that wouldn't have made sense at all. So I picked
technically it would have had chapter 7 because it's 3 parts.
Sorry, yeah, but it is like one of the penultimate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is the one comic of this run that I have not read before. And I loved it. I'm going to read the rest of this Man-Thing stuff because I think the villain's really cool.
Reading the second one. It's good.
Yeah. The Harrower as a villain's a great concept. The idea of using like fear as a weapon, and like if you just like Carol Danvers, she becomes fearful and catches on fire, but she can take the heat. Oh, that's spicy. It's so good.
Yeah.
This is definitely like one of the this is the most modern one.
I love the art.
The art is sensational.
So
oh my god. Harrower rips out Man-Thing like a Mortal Kombat villain. She rips out his spine, eyes intact. Love it. I thought Horticulture from X-Men show up. Didn't expect that. Big fan of that.
I was actually, when I was reading this, I was like, hold on. I thought Horticulture was only the X-Men comics. I'm like, oh, I guess they're just all Marvel.
Hey, everyone's a villain.
Yeah.
After a while, I was reading the Avengers comic, and after a while, all of a sudden, Blade had Boy Thing, which is a little man thing on his shoulder all the time, and I was like, "How the hell do you come from this? I never read this."
Now we know. Yeah.
Now you know. A little tiny boy thing. That's funny. Yeah, I love this. I think this is very cool. I love the idea of like when Steve gets pulled in by the
oh my god, that was so good.
Ted, I thought that was I'm excited to see where that goes. I do want to read the rest of this.
I thought I took a picture. I did. Yeah, there's a moment where like all the abandoned Captain Americas and he never forgot any of them, even the most obscure ones, which is a really cool like continuity thing. Then I forget one of them ends up helping him at the end. I forget which one it is. But that was really great. I love that Horticulture, who are villains.
It's Ted.
Oh, is it Ted?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, that is right. All right, yeah.
Ted himself is a failed Captain America.
That's why. Yeah, it took me for a second to connect that, but yes, I love it. I love that Horticulture is related to our villain, and at the end of their little section, she's like, "Hey, and if she does this and she threatens to bind them, we'll kill her ourselves." Like they will take care of their own family if they go against nature, because they might be villains, but they're for the healing of the world.
There's a great page of art that I didn't save, but I should have, where the Harrower is describing Man-Thing's origin, and so you get like all the little nuggets of just recounting Ted's stuff on a single page. I thought was really good.
Yeah. His origin story almost exactly like Swamp Thing's, almost to a T. Working on a super, not a super soldier serum, but a bio.
T for Ted.
T for Ted. T for Ted. T for Ted. Oh, little coffee though. Yeah, I thought this was a really great first issue. I will this week continue to read the rest of them because Marvel Unlimited's easy, baby.
Right. Yep. Ren. So yep. Gail, I don't know how you stayed up. You go get some rest. Thank you so much. We will talk next week.
Hey, again, the rewind is always there, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
I'm such a big fan of Steve Orlando right now. And like this, there's like now I have like 6-7 comics I can read more that involve Man-Thing. So I'm just like, I'm so stoked. Yeah, I love the art.
There are three issues that are like 36, 38 pages.
Okay, yeah.
And they have the broken chapters inside the issues.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a Spider-Man one next, and then the X-Men one after, and that's the whole story.
Okay, so like 1.5. Okay, cool.
I really like that. I really want to read the rest of that story because I think it's really cool, and I love that art. I love that art like nobody's.
I believe it was Mateo. Yep, Matteo Lolli, who also did some X-Men work recently. Let's now move on to Thunderbolts #1.
This is my favorite one.
Featuring the Thunderbolts.
This was fun. This was cute.
This is I think this is more fun than good.
Yeah.
I read this when it first came out, which was 9 years ago, so I was definitely younger. But just opening on Doctor Strange has gone rogue. We have to kill him, and he's in his underwear with a goofy face. Immediately, I'm on board. I think this is a pretty funny comic. I think I really like Elektra and Deadpool together. I think they're a fun pair together. I wanted to bring this up because everyone associates the Thunderbolts with Thunderbolt Ross because of this comic. This is the first time the Thunderbolt Ross has ever been associated with the Thunderbolts in their 25 years of history. And this is because of this. So I'm glad this comic exists and this run exists with the Red Team, the Red Squad. But Thunderbolt Ross is not the Thunderbolts.
I do like the Elsa Bloodstone stuff we get in here.
Oh, this is it's a heist. That's why I like this comic. It's a heist of different like demonic entities and shit.
Really, only with Elsa is it truly a heist. Valkyrie's just kind of a hey, Flash, go sleep with her.
Yeah.
and
You're
the Punisher's
honeypot.
like, I got it.
Oh, the Punisher's great. He goes to Jotunheim and he's like, Punisher, you can't kill Frost Giants. He's like, I'm the mother effing Punisher. I can kill who I want. Yeah. It's really fun. I really like that the Doctor Strange villain, his motivation is to make everyone happy.
Right.
And the Punisher is what makes him happy is murder.
Yeah.
That is for me probably like the best reveal.
And he says a pun, right? And then kills him.
Ding dong, witch is dead.
Yeah, ding dong, witch is dead. And then he smiles. Then he's like,
He smiles. Yeah. Yeah. This isn't. I wouldn't call this a particular great issue, but I think the art's really good, and I think it's a really fun time. The leader's in it, a little bit of leader action. There you go.
This one was my favorite.
I would call this a great comic. I thought this ruled. This is my favorite of the bunch.
I'm glad. I think it's good. I definitely think it's good. Sure. Yeah.
Also, side note, if there was a Shield existed and there was a division called Wand, I totally apply to start working for Wand.
I love that so much because rather than doing a heist, they end up in Wand and they're like, we're just going to tell you everything because we're going to wipe your mind anyway, but it's going to make you more confident when you actually do the thing. So whatever.
That was fun, yeah.
Well, and that they were like, we commissioned you to do this the entire time.
Yeah.
Was part of the shtick.
Oh, they look so good in their outfits too. Oh my god, the leader in his little Iron Man suit. Oh, dude, I couldn't get enough of it.
I really liked this book. This was a lot of fun. I like how it's written. It's written with a very fun tone. I really enjoy all the character interactions.
The living mummy and the Frankenstein monster. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, this is great.
I'm glad. You should, if you like this, then you should check this Thunderbolts run out because it's the entire tone the entire way through. It's pretty fun. In our final issue of the night, it is Fantastic Four Road Trip by my best friend in the world, Christopher Cantwell. Thank you for retweeting my tweet. Thank you so much, Christopher. Also by Felipe Andrade and art. This is one of my favorite Fantastic Four comics ever made. I think this is not just a perfect encapsulation of who the characters are and who they are with each other. You know, a perfect representation of the Richards family. My TV is about to turn off. Of the Richards family. It's also, without a doubt, the most horrific Fantastic Four comic ever made, and I mean in terms of graphic, like horrible things happening to them, body horror. This is one of the rawest Marvel comics I've ever read. The things that are happening in this comic, I can't believe they're do this to children and into the first family. Like Ben is just ripping things off, and he's like, I don't know if I feel good, Reed. I think the art is sensational. I think the way he writes Reed, and I love the way he writes Valeria losing her mind. I think this is a perfect horror comic.
Sue putting up with Reed's bullshit all the time.
Yeah, again, that's a perfect. Everyone thinks that like Sue doesn't love Reed. No, she loves him. She knows who he is. She's just learned to accept it. She shouldn't, but she has. Like, I know you're a scientist. You do your thing. I'll hang out with the kids as I always do. I am a little mad about it, but I know who you are. And that's perfect characterization. Of course, Reed's gonna use a vacation to go do actual experiments, and villains know this. Like, I think it's a perfect plot. It's a perfect one shot. I love it.
It was really good.
It reminded me of Animal Man by Jeff Lemire.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of the body horror.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. This was definitely one of those Fantastic Four films that I was not expecting to see Ben Grimm rip pieces of himself off. Franklin is everywhere, and
Oh my God,
he doesn't know where exactly he is all at once. Seeing Valeria's progression, seeing Sue like just constantly her gore or like her losing her own body. It was.
This is like I've never seen this happen in a Marvel comic to these characters before. This is insanity happening.
Or even
So
Johnny
gross.
when he's on fire and he's like, it hurts. It's like that shouldn't happen to Johnny. So just this whole thing is like, dang, this is scary. And of course it's
no, go
and of course it's just like it's all point to Reed because Reed couldn't get. He's like, oh shit, it's a trap. I screwed us all. Damn.
I love that reveal. He's like, wait, I know this material. This is from son of a bitch. This was me.
Yeah.
God damn it. It's always me. Franklin, the way they represent Franklin's powers, because like he has the power to do whatever he wants whenever he wants. So like to represent it in the way they do is brilliant. Like he's in the entire Grand Canyon, billions of versions of himself,
Right.
and then they just disappear.
Right.
And like Franklin, can you help this? He's like, Dad, I don't know if I'm here right now.
Mhm.
That's haunting, dude. That's like horrifying because that's not body horror. That's like emotional horror. Like I love this comic so much. It's so spooky.
There's the line where Reed goes to Franklin and says, and it's like, Franklin, are you okay? He's like, yeah, why? Because you're everywhere.
You're in the entire house right now.
You're in the entire house right now.
Oh man, yeah. I love this comic so much. Really good.
Yeah, I thought it was really well executed, both in art and, like you said, doing what they did with the characters. It's hard to get over the image of the Thing ripping off pieces of himself.
Yeah, and his poor wife Alicia there, she can't see any of this, but she doesn't need to see it. It's horrible.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nope. I love comic books.
These were
right.
good.
Yeah.
Cool. So next week, my turn. I know what it is. Frankenstein, Alive by Kelly Jones did the extra art. Bernie Wrightson, Steve Niles, and Bernie Wrightson. And then Kelly Jones finished off the run. Bernie Wrightson passed away before this book finished.
Beautiful. Thank you for keeping with the tradition.
So yeah. Keeping in the spooks. Cool. That'll do it, guys. Next week, Halloween ends.
It's finally ending. There'll never be another Halloween until the next one. I'm saying bye, Mag.
Oh yeah, stay safe, gang. Take care. Catch you later. Thank you too, Mag. You're wonderful.
Right, Mag.
All right. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can check out all sorts of shows that we have on this channel, such as Fake Nerds Watch, which is currently going through She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, and Star Wars Andor. Stay tuned for the next episode of Star Wars Andor coming around.
And House of the Dragon and Rings of Power.
House of the Dragon, Rings of Power. Rings of Power is ending this week. That's right.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
It's 8 episodes.
Amazon, baby.
Basement Arcade, which is our video game Let's Play series, coming soon. Spooktobers.
Soon.
Stay tuned for those. Basement Arcade Pause Menu is our video game discussion series that Ben does. And sometimes Sparks and Ryan go on and be like, look, we like video games. Fake Nerd Book Club and Animation Station are also shows that you can find on this channel. Check out our Patreon and our TeePublic if you'd like to support us financially. We like to do a lot of stuff. We hope that you like to see us do a lot of stuff. So why don't you check out those places where you can help us out if you are so inclined. Linked down below. You can also find all those links and all the shows on our website at fakenerdpodcast.com, which is also linked below. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches the live show. And thank you to everyone who watches the rewind. We greatly appreciate all of your support. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci, who did all the music you've heard here tonight, as well as all the music for all of our shows. You can find him at Jeremy Vellucci _Wreck of Time, because his band Wreck of Time is doing a bunch of music videos they can check out right now on their YouTube channel. You can also find his podcast, Suburban Proctologist, on iTunes, or facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official, or Instagram at SubProcPodcast. Thank you to Mike Patola. Mike Patola is a wonderful collaborator of our and friend. We love him. He's done cool stuff. He just finished his Mummy print. Exciting. And he also did some of our logos.
He took the advice of the yelling Brendan Fraser.
Yes, he did. You can find him at Mike Matola on Instagram and TikTok. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast. If you'd like to get in touch with us, if you'd like to get in touch with fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. I also write for Screen Rant. I also write for Atomic Geekdom and KaijuRamenMedia.com. Ben?
You can find me desperately trying to set some sort of high score, or at least get on the leaderboard at Portland Retro Gaming Expo at BenMagnet27, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can also find me writing for Old School Gamer Magazine, Fusion Gaming Magazine, and GoNintendo.com. Like we said at the very beginning of the show, my newest article about my trip to the Final Fantasy Distant Worlds concert on oldschoolgamermagazine.com is linked down below. And of course, if you are going to be at Portland Retro Gaming Expo this upcoming weekend, I'm going to be there. Say hi. I'll probably take over the Fake Nerd Podcast Instagram. Who knows? I think it's going to be a great time. So come on over, say hi. And can't you tell I'm excited?
Yes.
I'm excited for you.
Sparks.
You can find me howling at the moon at Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty, and writing for Nobody, Nowhere, for Nothing.
Ryan.
You can find me somewhere over the rainbow at DJ Tony Snark 616. Maybe I'll start streaming soon because I got it set up. Will my mind let me? There's only one way to find out.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcast, and Pandora. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. And like this video, subscribe to our channel. Until next time we see us, guys, stay fake nerds.